kind of like a platinum blonde, I guess you would call it?
Yeah, platinum blonde and gray.
Is that something you did for the video, or is that just like what you were doing at the time?
Okay, well, technically, what I was doing, I normally keep blue hair. Right now, it's completely brown because I'm growing it out until it's healthy again. But for the last, 12 years, I've had blue hair, and
nice.
Before the video, I kept getting called Billie Eilish because at the time she had blue hair. And it pissed me off. So what I did was bleach my hair before the music video, and then 2 weeks before my music video dropped, this lady fucking bleached her hair.
No. That's bullshit.
So it was
bullshit.
Yeah. It was trying to get away from the Billie Eilish comments, and I ended up running straight directly into them, and I was trying to look hyper-feminine, and for some reason I think blonde is hyper-feminine.
Honestly,
I'm not sure.
Honestly, I've always, obviously, people are going to say, oh, here goes the trans girl with all of her complex opinions about what womanhood is and what femininity is. But I've always personally seen, brightly colored hair as being, hyper feminine. Maybe that's just a misread on my part or something, but it's one of those things that I always read it as, even if a dude who is otherwise pretty masculine has, pink hair or something, I always think, oh, he's a little in touch with his feminine side. I can't help but think that, right? So I always think, blue hair or green hair or something like that when I'm thinking of, hyper feminine hairstyles. But I don't, I feel like you probably have, the more traditional viewpoint on it,
Well, yeah, I was raised Mennonite, so yeah. Probably.
What? No way, really?
Yeah, we talked about this last time, yeah.
Do you know how to milk a cow?
Yeah, I was raised on a farm.
Yes! Oh my god, sisters! Oh my god.
Well, I was raised on a farm too.
Yeah.
Sister is so cool.
That's true.
I mean, I'll take the sister moniker. I don't care.
It's only a compliment, really.
Yeah, true. Dude, we are 2.5 minutes in. We're 2.5 minutes in, and there's nobody in the live stream.
It took 20 minutes for you to get your reviews on the other one. So
yeah, it's true. We will wait. I'm just saying, it's weird. I don't think I'm shadow banned. I don't think I'm shadow banned because I've been getting donos still regularly, and I've been having a few streams recently that have gone, their normal views and 7,000, 15,000, whatever. So I don't think it's that. I think it's just that YouTube's algorithm's a little fickle sometimes, maybe.
Oh, and it's Monday night, so, Tuesday morning it might be.
Let's see.
It also could very much be me. I tend to have that.
No, I don't think it's you. I think you're right. I think it's that other people have, working lives and stuff that they're doing, probably. They're sleeping or they're just waking up and getting ready for work. I'm sure people will trickle in eventually.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, some of these are pretty on the nose. Like post-traumatic stress disorder test or self-disclosure test.
Are you still looking through Psychology Today quiz tests, Matt?
Yes, I am.
I've been diagnosed with PTSD twice now. I kind of want to take the PTSD one, see what they say.
Okay, we can do it.
Are you sure?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, we can do it.
Alright.
Let me just,
And that's...
whenever you get it pulled up, I'll introduce it.
I got it right here.
Okay, so friend of the channel L is going to be taking a PTSD test live to confirm with Psychology Today's quiz their pre-existing diagnosis of PTSD. With that being said, Matt, administer this test.
Alright, this is a Psychology Today test, and it's 20 questions. It ranges from strongly disagree to strongly agree. There's five options. The middle being neutral. So soft agree, strongly agree, and so on.
Got it.
traumatic event, such as the threat of death, a serious injury, or sexual violence.
Agree.
Strongly agree or softly agree?
The one right next to strongly agreed.
Softly agree.
No, never mind. Strongly agreed. I didn't know it was soft. Soft is not the word. We'll go strongly agreed.
Okay. Question 2. I have recurrent, involuntary, and intrusive distressing memories of a traumatic event.
Softly disagree.
Softly disagree. I witnessed a traumatic event happen to someone else.
Softly agree.
I have repetitive, distressing dreams related to a traumatic event.
Softly agreed.
I experienced repeated or extreme exposure to graphic detail of traumatic events. I have an intense reaction to cues that remind me of a traumatic event.
Softly disagree.
I learned that a traumatic event occurred to a close family member or friend.
Say that again?
I learned that a traumatic event occurred to a close family member or friend.
Strongly agree.
I have flashbacks in which I feel or act as if a traumatic event were reoccurring.
Softly agree.
I avoid things that remind me of a traumatic event, like people, places, activities, or memories.
Softly disagree.
I have negative beliefs, like no one can be trusted, or the world is completely dangerous.
Oh, I'm having a problem answering this because I don't know what my answer's gonna mean because of how the question was worded. Does that make sense?
Do you want me to say it again?
Reword it?
Okay, I feel like no one can be trusted because the world is dangerous.
Strongly disagree. Softly disagree.
Softly disagree. I mainly feel negative emotions like horror, anger, guilt, or shame.
Neutral.
Neutral. I feel detached from others.
Softly disagree.
I have angry outbursts with little or no provocation.
Strongly disagree.
I engage in reckless or self-destructive behavior.
Strongly disagree.
I'm hypervigilant.
Strongly agree.
I have exaggerated startle response. I have difficulty falling or staying asleep.
Strongly agree.
A traumatic event has significantly impaired my ability to function in daily life.
Neutral. That's an unfair question.
Alright, score test. That was it. Let's see here. I will screenshot this for the both of you, I guess. Okay.
What's up, everybody in chat? There's only 6 people watching so far, but whatever. It took a while for the other one to blow up. I did, I changed the title. I might change it again if we need to, but I changed it to Live Discord VC and various quizzes.
Alright, I sent it to you.
Alright.
12 you.
Yeah, that's progress.
Yeah, I'd say that's progress.
54 out of 100? Did we get the same score?
Well, on different quizzes, but yes, yeah.
Different quizzes, yeah.
Different quizzes, but same score, yeah. Mine was the narcissism quiz, and this one's the PTSD quiz, but still.
Yeah.
Somebody in chat asked, has there ever been a genocide or atrocities committed by leftists? Probably, yeah. I don't want to do like the no true Scotsman fallacy thing and be like, no, to commit an atrocity means you cannot be a leftist, you know. But if you look at the amount of like violence that is tracked year by year by the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, etc., right wing groups and individuals are way more likely to commit politically motivated violence, hate crimes, shit like that. Like it's like 90-10. The split is insane.
Like was the the people starving in Russia? Was that like?
Was that leftist policies?
Place of wanting to do good for the people, but it ended up causing harm.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I don't want to get too far down that rabbit hole unless we end up making an interesting conversation of it, but I just wanted to answer that question in chat real quick. Yeah, I would say that it is progress to get like a 54. You know what's horrifying about this graph that I'm saying, though, is that if you look at the way that the graph is calculated, it looks like there's a good solid chunk of people that are scoring higher than that, which is fucking crazy. How fucked up is our society, man?
Well, I feel that the people who tend to take these tests are probably people who haven't sought help for their problems.
True. So you might have like a... Huh?
I was actively thinking about that as I was taking the test, like thinking about my answers as I was giving them, because I've been diagnosed with this twice, and I was registering as you were giving me the questions that I have, through several years of therapy, come a long way. I bet my score would have been significantly higher 10 years ago.
Yeah. People everywhere experience PTSD and bad things happening to them. The real question is, how many of these are women and how many of these are men? I'm kind of interested to know those statistics.
I bet it's closer to 50-50 than you think.
I would imagine, yeah.
I have this theory that women are just more vocal about the atrocities, yeah.
Right. Do you think that men are like the whole stoicism, you're supposed to just take it on the chin and deal with it,
I think that ideology has created a toxic environment for men to thrive.
Yes, exactly. It's literally, this is why lefties always it sounds reductionist and shit, but this is why it always goes back to patriarchy, because this idea that you need to man up, not cry, to not, the idea of confessing to someone that your wife abused you involves admitting that you as a man were able to be abused by a woman, and to do so is to, in a patriarchal society, that is to sacrifice, a big chunk of your dignity and self-worth, even if that's not actually socially enforced anymore. Not nearly as widely anyway. It's still something that people feel a really just like a shit ton of pressure on them for, because very often the social reactions are bad at first, even if there's eventual understanding, and it's fucked up, right? Like, women are kind of expected, more or less, to talk about their suffering or the deprivations that they suffer under abusive marriages and relationships and things like that. They don't always do that. The reporting rate on domestic violence and things like that is not nearly as high as we'd like, but on the other hand, it's a notable phenomenon how many men, just in general, don't report their abuse or only reported in polling.
Do you want to take a? Oh no, some of these tests are really on the nose and a little insensitive.
I gotta use the bathroom real quick. You guys entertain the chat. What little there is of it right now?
What little chat there is?
Yeah, what little chat there
is that one?
For a second.
Oh, it's 11. Okay, I thought it was 1 for a second.
11. We're gonna entertain the fuck out of this one person.
Well, you're more of an entertainer than I am.
No.
Oh, from those videos, I would say you are.
Yeah, we gotta think about it. My form of entertaining has absolutely no off-scriptness. It's all lyrics. I very much stick to the script and get off the stage.
But if there's ever a time that you're home alone or people are not asleep, you should sing. That'd be cool.
Okay. I can do that. I feel like it just boils down to you like, this couldn't have come out of you. This sound, that's not you. I want you to prove it. And I will. Don't get me wrong. Like, if you want me to sing rough vocals of me practicing in my car,
I don't want to pressure you into it or anything. God forbid.
No. God forbid. No, dude, I'll have to do it one day where it's not like 3 a.m.
Right. That's the only time that she streams.
Drink.
Smoke.
Have to be in a group chat then, I guess. Dang it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the chat.
Phoebe the Incredible.
I am so happy to be here for you guys for another indefinite amount of time of streaming. So if you're happy to see me, well, put that away. But after you're done, then
Hey, I don't
maybe
want to
consider subscribing, hitting the like button, interacting with the channel in all the ways that are normal. And if you want to make sure that me, Matt, or Elle answers your super chat, or answers your question, send it as a super chat, or send it to my Cash App down below as a note, and I will see it. I will get it. And you can pay not only to continue the content, but also to get your question read or answered. With all that being said, thank you guys for being here. And what quiz are we going to be taking next?
Well, we could go the super depressing ones, or we could go the other ones. And what I have here is the grit test. Do you do you persevere in the face of challenges?
Nah, lame.
Okay. Do you want to go the dirty ones? Because there's like a body dysmorphia test here. There's an
Here,
autism test. There's a bipolar test.
do an autism test. Let's see how I score on the autism test.
Okay, autism it is.
Yeah. I'm looking in the
Alright,
chat.
20 questions. They're all 20 questions.
No, I do not believe in Jesus or God. Alright.
Alright. Same as before. 5 options. Neutral middle. 20 questions.
Okay.
I am good at spotting patterns that other people miss.
Yes.
Was strong or soft?
Strong. Happens all the time.
I prefer to do things the same way every time.
I would say soft agree. Yeah, I would say that I get really stuck in my routines and my patterns. If I can find a good way to do something that makes me feel, I would say yes. Yeah.
I find it challenging to understand the unspoken rules of social interaction.
Soft agree. I don't find it so challenging that it's impossible for me. Obviously, I've learned some of them to be able to do a successful live stream and make friends and have partners and stuff like that. But I definitely do find it difficult. I've often illustrated it by saying that I, as an autistic woman, feel like I often have to learn things in a clinical manner that come very naturally for other people. So yeah, I would say soft agree.
People often tell me I'm being rude when I'm not trying to be.
Hard agree. People always think I'm on their case, but I'm not. I'm just like, I don't know, passively a bitch or something.
I have 1 or 2 special interests that can feel all-consuming. Like,
Soft
this is all you want to
agree.
do. Yeah.
Soft agree. I would say I've got more than 1 or 2, but I definitely know what it's like to hyper focus on something. And I definitely know, I've got some special interests. I just feel like I've probably got more than 1 or 2, you know. But
Right.
at the same time, you know, one could argue that maybe politics and biology is like the truth of my two special interests. If you actually boiled down all of the things that I would cite as special interests to like their core components. Right. So maybe I would say soft agree.
So this next one I kind of feel because I grew up not wearing a lot of clothes. I used to run around naked all the time. And to this day, I hate wearing socks. I hate socks. I am very sensitive to physical sensations, such as how my clothes feel on my body.
Yes, I would say soft agree. Well, I would say soft agree. 1 second.
What were you going to say, Ellie? I didn't.
And I just wanted to say that I took it alongside you, and I'm going to wait for you, and I'm going to let you know what I got.
You what?
Oh, she took the test already.
Yeah. My answer might shock you.
All right. We'll see what it is then. Me and Elle will be comparing our answers. What was the question?
You want to do, I'm very sensitive to physical sensations such as how my clothes feel on my body.
Yeah, I'm going to say soft agree. I wouldn't say it's very sensitive. I would say I'm sensitive to it, but not so sensitive that I can't usually accustom myself to something after enough time.
Right. Eye contact can be uncomfortable for me.
What is it?
Eye contact can be uncomfortable for me.
It used to be really uncomfortable for me, so I would say neutral because neutral because I feel like at this point it doesn't bother me as bad as it used to.
I'm good at small talk or routine chit chat.
Yeah. yeah, I'm pretty good at that. Yeah.
Strong agree?
Yeah, I would say strong agree, sure. Hi, Joseph.
I'm too literal.
Soft agree. They don't always, but they often do. Of course, then again, I've got a pretty compelling command of idiom and simile, so
right.
It's not exactly something I get all the time because I'm usually able to perceive those things in other people, but it's definitely something I've gotten quite a few times. So yes, I would say soft agree.
Yeah, somebody's spamming 6-7. Goodbye.
6-7.
Okay.
Oh wait, hold on.
I'm sorry?
Hold on for 1 second. Somebody said, look at that view to like ratio. You're 100% right. If half of you guys hit that like button right now, we would have 40 freaking likes all at once. So come on, tap that screen or hit the button. Either way, it helps tremendously, and I appreciate it. Anyway, Matt, do go on.
In conversations, I'm often unsure of when it's my turn to talk. This happens to me constantly.
I would say neutral, simply because I feel like that I can be kind of domineering in a conversation. I've been
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Well, you know.
you are a motor mouth, 100%.
Yeah, so that's why I feel like I can't fairly answer this question like, oh, I'm just some demure little shrieking violet that doesn't know when to get her turn in a conversation. No, I'm a fucking bold-ass bitch that thinks my turn in the conversation is whenever the fuck I please to open my mouth and add to it.
Your turn is more like you think everybody's turn.
What'd you say, Elle?
And that's exactly why I mute myself.
No, I'm sorry, dude. I shouldn't be like that, but I'm...
No. I am like that too. That's why I mute myself. This is your stream.
No, that's valid. Yeah, that's fair. And I try to do the same thing if I'm on like a different community's voice chat or something. So for sure, I would. So what was how was the question worded again, Matt?
In conversations, I'm often unsure of when it's my turn to talk.
Hard disagree.
You know when it's your turn.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait. No, I don't know how to answer that fucking question, because I obviously don't know when it's my turn to fucking talk. Obviously, I try to monopolize conversations more than is healthy, so it's just like, fuck, what do I answer that? Neutral, I guess.
Oh, okay. The repetitive movements like pacing or flexing my fingers comfort me when I'm stressed.
Yes. Hard agree.
Hard agree. When my routine is disrupted, it can be distressing.
I would say yeah. Soft agree. Soft agree.
Soft agree.
Yeah.
I like to collect or track specific types of information. For example, train schedules, historical dates, or different varieties of birds.
Soft agree. I don't think I do it in a way that the most extreme forms of autism usually present with, where you've got like massive compendiums of every bird species and all the pictures you've taken of them, and the variations in subspecies in your area. I don't go to that extent, but I definitely do have a tendency to. I feel like I've got that tendency, but not enough. I don't know. Neutral, because soft agree feels like I'm fronting a little bit, because I'm not doing any of the things that you would typically associate with that, where you're like, oh, I'm going to gather up all of these relevant historical dates and write them down in this journal and shit like that. I don't usually do shit like that. I do collect cool little rocks and pictures of the sky that I take with my phone. I'm always looking for interesting things that I can document with my camera, and I feel like that's like an adjacent behavior. So I'm just gonna say neutral.
I don't think it's like because I think that when they talk about that, they like excessively. You're like everything.
That's the thing I do.
Strains.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I do it to kind of like an obsessive degree. Like whenever I am like any time, even if it's not really like the best time for it, unless it's like I just can't. If I see a pretty sky, I'm pretty much gonna like stop what I do, or stop what I'm doing and take a bunch of like pictures of it, and then file that away into a folder and stuff. So I feel like I do it, but maybe not to the extent that other autistic people do it. Maybe it's just like a hobby for me, so I don't, like the forms of behavior that I would associate with that maybe just be expressions of hobby behavior. So I'm gonna say neutral on that one.
All right. I mimic other people's behavior to appear normal.
Soft agree. I try to have my own personality. I try to make it a meld of different things that I've perceived and engaged with over the years. But yeah, I definitely ingratiate little quips and interesting lines and sometimes even personality quirks from people that I look up to. So yeah, I'd say soft agree.
Right. It's easy for me to understand what others are thinking, even if they don't say it.
Sometimes.
I think this is like reading people's feelings, social cues.
Right, but that's the weird thing, is like I can usually, and I share this experience with many other autistic people, I can usually perceive when, like, how someone's feeling. I'm not always good at perceiving what the correct response to that is in that moment. So I would say soft agree. Also, Nambot, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. I appreciate that a ton. That really helps.
Appreciate it.
And if anybody else would like to support the channel, please consider donating memberships or super chats or anything you can afford if you are so inclined. I appreciate it a ton. What's the next question? I'm sorry.
I could talk about my interests for hours and hours.
Hard agree.
Yes. I often miss when people say one thing but mean something else.
I would say soft agree. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I get it.
Certain sounds that don't seem to bother other people are very upsetting to me.
This one. As soon as I read it, I was like, this one, dude. I don't know why, and it sounds really insensitive, It does. I know it. I sound like a bitch when I say this, but for some reason, the sound of consistent, non-stop coughing for more than 15 seconds drives me up the wall.
BB. Uh-oh.
Now I find out why Elle hasn't been watching much lately. No, that's great.
You have a coughing fit.
What? Like every 5 seconds.
No, I guess I don't hear it. Or it's not something that annoys me.
Well, it's just, you know, I get it, because I'm not the exact same way, but I get annoyed in a way that I feel ashamed about whenever someone coughs for more than that long.
Yes, ashamed, yes.
Is that the good way to put it? Like, I feel that. I feel you there. That's why I try to clear up my coughing fits as quick as I can, or I'll mute or something, because I don't, like, and my mom can't help it, but my mom is, I think, where I got this from, because she, you know, would, and to this day, it's only gotten worse since her lung cancer diagnosis, but she would, even when I was, like, a kid, like 9, we would be having a conversation, and, you know, I'd be standing off to the side somewhere, and she'd be sitting down smoking, and we'd be having a conversation, and then there it goes, you know, like and I could just tell within the opening seconds that she was going to be, you know, unavailable, basically, for the next 30 seconds, and I would just kind of, like, and I learned to, like, stop talking, and, like, sit there in pregnant silence while I wait to continue the point, and it at a certain point it feels like you're talking to, like, a dying tuberculosis patient, and like you should be reading them their last rites and not talking about dinner, you know. And so yeah, I feel like I relate to that on some level, actually. But we're so far off the quiz. Where are we at?
All right, so we got 3 questions left.
Sorry, it was annoying. I just had to talk about it.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Certain sounds that don't seem to bother other people are very upsetting to me.
Soft degree. I don't respond nearly as negatively as a lot of autistic people do to some noise and shit, but there's definitely noises that I've, like, for example, I have not met that many people who seem all that bothered by loud engines and, like, motorcycle exhaust and shit. It is, like, one of my least favorite noises. I fucking
I
can't
hate
stand
motorcycles
it.
too. I can't stand it.
The same thing with,
so loud.
you know, some people don't seem to get as annoyed with lawnmowers and shit like that. So I'm gonna say soft degree. It's not like a debilitating thing, but there's definitely a lot of noises I could do without.
Right. All right. I find it challenging to be in a conversation with 2 or more people. Yes, for me.
What is it? I was reading a chat.
I find it challenging to be in a conversation with 2 or more people.
No. Hard disagree.
Yeah, I find it hard because of the problem I had before is knowing when to talk. Those 2 go together, so I prefer smaller groups of people to have
Right,
conversations
but
with.
as we discovered earlier, I'm a raging narcissist, so I just think my turn to talk is, like, the whole time, and so of course I don't have any fucking problem.
You're not the one. All right, imagining something that's not real can be difficult for me. So if I say, I have an apple, what's this apple look like to you? You know, can you see it in your head? Here's an apple.
Yeah, I can see it in my head. Not only can I see it in my head, I can imagine it sitting on the couch. I can imagine it sitting in my hand right here. I can turn it around in my hand and look at the different proportions.
Right, now, let's say there's a 3-headed dragon next to me. Can you see the 3-headed dragon?
Yeah. The first head has 4 horns arranged parallel on either side of the top of its head. The preceding two heads each have 3 horns apiece. It's an iridescent color and has scales reminiscent of a boa constrictor. It has no wings and 4 legs. What else would you like?
Right, okay, so hard disagree. That's not a problem.
No, not at all.
All right, let's see. All right, I'm going to... this is what I also expected.
What does it say?
Well, you'll have to read it. Well, so
Drum roll, please.
Let's see. My score is 63 out of 100. You display some signs of being on the autism spectrum. Well, I was diagnosed when I was like 9, so I know for a fact that I have it. But this was still an interesting quiz. But I'm literally one away. I'm literally one away from having several signs of autism. I'm like one away. So I feel like I might not have answered all of those questions correctly. Or maybe it's an instance where, like, I got a lot of treatment and therapy for issues related to my autism. So maybe I'm showing some, like, survivorship bias there.
I would say, from my conversations with you, being like showing some signs of autism is like where I thought you would be. Because you're not like a raging autistic. I don't think. But Ellie, I've seen this test and I'm kinda.
Holy crap! So L. Everybody's trying to talk at once. What?
Did you send this to her, Ellie?
Yeah.
Yeah. So L, you want to tell the people your score?
Yeah, I got an 85 or 86 out of 100. Many signs of autism.
Do not clap too hard.
Damn. Autistic as shit. Autistic as shit. L confirmed. More autistic than Phoebe.
I wonder where I would be. I'd have to take it too.
Times.
Can I, L, can I interest you in a nice jigsaw puzzle?
You got some chicken nuggets with that?
Yes.
Some dippy sauce.
Oh,
with those
I
chicken
found my
nuggets.
people. Y'all,
Some
this is...
specific baby Ray's, barbecue sauce and nothing else, or Hunt's ketchup, please, thank you.
Or you're gonna throw these hands. Flip the table.
Wait a minute. Hunt's, not Heinz?
Hunt's, yeah.
Sweet Baby Ray's is fucking good shit.
Sweet Baby Ray's is good. I can get behind that. Although, hot take, Sweet Baby Ray's is taste, texture, usage-wise, way more similar to a barbecue sauce than it is a fucking steak sauce. The fact that it is able to market...
Wait. When was it a steak sauce? I thought it was a barbecue sauce.
If it's not a barbecue sauce, then I don't like barbecue sauce, apparently.
Well, I thought it was marketed as a steak sauce, but maybe I'm just mistaken. Maybe that was a specific bottle that we used to stock in the house. I don't know.
One is like a steak sauce.
Well, then maybe I'm wrong. Never mind. But yeah.
I'm pretty sure if I look at the bottle, it'll say Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce.
I fucking don't know, dude. Who the fuck cares? I'm just an idiot spouting bullshit online for clicks, okay?
It literally says Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce right on it.
I had to Google it immediately. I was like, hold on.
My whole world almost went upside down. Everything I knew that could be real was wrong.
Mandela all over again.
I need to take this autism test, I guess.
Please.
We'll take a short break, and or I can answer it real quick when we reset this.
Somebody in the chat said, Costly said A1 is only for shitty steaks. I actually disagree with you. I think that A1 has a number of positions of noble prestige in the kitchen. If you can have like a really good steak, and then towards the end, after you've tasted, you can like kind of vary it up with the tang and deliciousness of A1.
With some people, if they don't taste the cow farts in their steak, it's not good.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can eat half the steak with no sauce, fine, and then do the other half with sauce. That's what I usually do. Or
this steak had an anal prolapse.
A lot of people like don't believe in marinating steak, but we do it in my family, so I do it. I don't do it for long, but I think it, like, whatever. We like the results. It makes good shit. So I think that A1 makes a good marinade ingredient.
I like the burnt orange flavor that A1 has.
You don't like it?
No, I do. I like the burnt orange.
Oh, I do too. I do too. Elle, what are your opinions?
I love it so much. You didn't even have to ask me. I love it so much. I will drink it after I eat it on the entire steak. I love it. I seriously have finished an entire small bottle of A1 sauce with one 6-ounce steak.
So fucking tasty. I don't even know like what it is about it, but it's so good.
Yeah. If I don't have like ranch for my chicken nuggets, I'll use A1 steak sauce.
Oh my goodness! I just registered that I said Heinz, like the steak sauce, not Hunt's. Oh, I mixed it up. Hunt's and Heinz aren't the same thing.
No, they're not. Hunt's is like the shitty Heinz.
My thing is, Hunt's is
Hunt's
is like an okay brand of ketchup. I will take Hunt's over like store brand ketchup, but to me it does have a different flavor profile than Heinz, which is what I think that I'm accustomed to. Heinz is my favorite brand. Like, I'm not super picky when it comes to food for the most part, but like if I'm buying the groceries and I'm like gonna be resupplying because I know we're out of like ketchup, I'm gonna fucking go pay the extra $1 for the fucking Heinz just because I like the taste of it more than I like Hunt's or the store brand or like.
No.
You know what? There's one other
ketchup racist.
There's one other.
Heinz. If it's not Heinz, it's not.
There's one other. There's one other brand of ketchup that is good, and that is Whataburgers.
Right.
Oh. I want to try that banana ketchup though. I haven't tried that yet.
Gross.
Banana ketchup? You ever heard of it?
Sounds fucking disgusting. What are you talking about? What are you babbling about, Matt?
Banana ketchup? You never heard about it?
I've never heard of that.
I don't even think it's real. I think you're fucking bullshitting me right now because I think this is a ligma.
No, I'll send it to you. Hold on.
No, dude, banana ketchup. You gotta be fucking with me.
Yeah, well, it's called a banana sauce, but it's red just like ketchup.
It's a World War II sauce.
And I hear it's good. I've heard it.
Created in World War II due to a tomato shortage.
What
You don't like bananas?
in the fuck is that?
Why is it chunky?
Why is it so chunky?
Well,
What have you fucking... What have you done, Matt?
I've never tried it. I want to try it though.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, I love you, Elle. Yes, exactly. Why?
Why not? I'm willing to try those things.
Because look at it!
Yeah, cannibalism, whatever. I'll try it one time.
Oh my goodness. I am all here for some banana milk, but I don't want anything to do with banana ketchup.
This is what Matt is advertising to us right now, chat. This is what Matt is trying to get us to eat. Look at this dog shit. It looks like fucking...
It's literally... Oh my god.
Have you ever eaten a bunch of plantains and oranges and puked it onto a plate? Oh, but you also have a stomach ulcer? This is your sauce.
It literally.
Are you telling me that you wouldn't like dip or fry and taste it?
I'm saying I would have to be paid a lot of money.
No way! Come on, stop
I'm
running.
so thrilled. Look, you saw my autism score.
Yeah, you saw her
That's
autism
true.
score.
That's true. That's true.
You can't disagree with her on that.
Like, I'm willing to try most things at least once. So, you know, murder, whatever.
Cannibalism, whatever. Equal parts absolutely infatuated with your humor and scared of it at the same time.
Well,
What do you think I was gonna do with my friend after he died out there in the cold? I ate him up, of course. Actual quote.
Stealing a jacket from a homeless guy.
That's an actual quote, by the way. That's an actual quote from an Old West pioneer who was being asked by a belligerent drunk at a bar why, basically what happened to his friend out there in the mountains as they were trying to get out west. And that was his response.
Say it again.
What do you think happened to my friend out there in the cold? I ate him up, of course.
Hey, you do what you gotta do.
He did. That dude ate like 4 people over the course of like 5 failed journeys.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude. He like
gotta stop camping with him in the winter.
Dude, I know, right? That motherfucker, you know, ain't nobody want to go on an expedition with him. The fucking brokest, most desperate motherfuckers were the only people unlucky enough to say yes to an expedition with that fucker.
Imagine you're stuck in a mountain and you see him coming towards you to help.
Yeah, he just has a knife and a fork. He's just walking towards you.
You see him walking towards you, but for some reason, for the first time in the expedition, he doesn't look angry.
Oh
no! He looks a little peckish and horny.
All right. All right, then.
If you survive that, you definitely have PTSD.
I'm honestly surprised a motherfucker like that didn't get team killed at some point. Like, how many times a motherfucker gotta eat a person for somebody's like, oh shit, no, I seen this pattern go down. Hold on now. I got shit now.
Brings their own fork, pulls it out of their pocket.
Yeah.
Put down a knife, Evie. Before you hurt yourself. Alright, I gotta take this test now. See, I'm spotting patterns that other people's miss. Soft knife. Prefer to do things the same way every time. Every time, like, if I don't do it the same way every time that, like, I'm gonna have a hard time with it, neutral. I find it challenging to understand unspoken rules of social interaction. Soft agree. People often tell me I'm being rude when I'm not trying to be. Soft agree. I have 1 or 2 special interests that can feel all-consuming. A neutral. I'm very sensitive to physical sensations such as... it's only to socks. Do I put agree on that?
Maybe soft agree.
Soft agree? That's going to make me autistic.
Neutral. Well, I don't think one soft degree is going to make you autistic.
And you can't think about that when you're taking the test. You need to take it with a clear mind without any, like, don't think about whether the answer is going to make you autistic.
Like taking a test that isn't anything to do with autism.
I want to go neutral because it's only socks. I don't care about anything else. Eye contact can be uncomfortable for me. Hard disagree. I'm good at small talk or routine chit chat. Neutral. People tell me I'm too literal. Am I?
I'm going to step out for 1 second. I don't think you're too literal.
Neutral. Yeah, soft disagree, actually. In conversations, I'm often unsure when it's my turn to talk. Soft degree, for sure. Repetitive movements like pacing or flexing my fingers. Disagree. I'm not. When my routine is disrupted, it can be just hard disagree. I like to collect or track specific types of information. Soft disagree. I mimic other people's behavior to appear normal. Hard disagree. It's easy for me to understand what others are thinking, even if I don't say it. Soft agree. I can talk about my interests for hours and hours. Neutral. I often miss when people say things but mean something else. Soft disagree. Certain sounds that don't seem to bother other people are very upsetting to me. Soft disagree. I find it challenging to be in a conversation with 2 or more people. Soft agree. Imagining something that's not real can be difficult for me. Hard disagree. I am 38 out of 100.
Oh. Yeah, that's
I'm just into some signs of autism.
That's about what I figured, honestly, because you don't read as autistic to me. Maybe like a tendency or 2 here or there, but in general, you've never read as autistic to me. So that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I have some things, but I think most people do. I would say, but I'm kind of like on board for the thing that autism is a spectrum, and most people are on that spectrum. Or no, I would say all people are on that spectrum. It's just where you are.
Yeah, I think that might be kind of true. Maybe. I don't know.
And if that's the case, is autism even real? If we're all technically autistic? Or is that just the state of humanity?
I would say that autism is definitely still real.
Well, maybe it's just too broad of a test to specifically mean what we think when we think autistic.
Nambot says spectrums typically go down to 0. Right. So there could be there has to be, if you're assuming a true spectrum, there have to be some people that are 100% at one end. And
how plain of a person do you have to be robotic almost to not be some number on this test? 0? That's crazy.
It's not just autism that has that criteria. So every mental illness has a long list of criteria where if you meet 80% or more of that criteria, you have that disability or that mental illness. So,
you blew past that one.
A good example of this is psychopaths. That everybody in the whole world will share at least one tendency with the tendencies of a psychopath.
Oh, is there a psychopath test? Do we have to take it?
I was immediately thinking that too, dude. Please look that up.
Yes, let's find a psychopathy quiz, please. Let's do it.
Because that's my best example. Everybody, at least one of the things that a psychopath does, everybody can share at least one of those traits. It's such a long list that everybody can have psychotic tendencies and still not be psychotic.
Okay, there's 2 of these. There's a psychopathy test, and there's a psychopath in your life test. So somebody who's in your life that might be a psychopath.
Okay.
I feel like we should all do both, right?
We can.
I say we all take the one that is for ourselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. All right. And we'll start with you, Phoebe.
All right. Hit me with it.
One moment. Vamp for a second.
Vamp, 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 vamp. In a small town where all knew all, wondered a peasant lady nobody knew. The cat is playing with stuff. Why is it whenever somebody asks me to vamp, right? Suddenly I get like locked into these cycles where I'm just like, ooh, I have to find something to commentate on. I have to find something. I gotta be entertainer. Oh no! Well, I've been like in entertainer mode the whole time. So like, why am I being so extra? It's fine. I could just like read things from the chat. I could do that. Like, why can't I just read things from the chat? It's just a question of. Well, that's awesome. Welcome back.
All right, you ready? All right, same as before. 20 questions, 5 possible
Hey,
answers.
I didn't say I was ready.
Oh, my bad.
Yes, I'm ready.
If you got them, smoke them.
Yep.
All right. Question 1. I've always found it easy to convince people to do favors for me.
Soft disagree.
Hey, Phoebe, can you do me a favor?
What? What?
Soft disagree. It's a joke. Soft disagree. When I know someone is struggling, I think of them often and hope they're doing okay.
Strongly agree. Yeah. I mean, if I know them, I guess soft agree, because, like, it's if I know them. Like, if I don't know someone, then I might not feel that much about it, you know.
Oh, on the first question about convincing people to do favors, did you say soft disagree or soft agree?
How was it worded?
I've always found it easy to convince people to do me favors.
Soft disagree.
Soft disagree. Other people make so many stupid mistakes compared to me.
Soft disagree.
I don't see a problem with lying if it helps get what I want.
Neutral. I think there's more to the morality of a lie than just whether it helps you succeed. So, neutral.
If someone told me that I hurt their feelings, I would feel badly.
Soft agree. I mean, I guess it depends on the person. So, soft agree.
In truth, I find most people boring or stupid.
Soft disagree.
People
In
often
fact,
blame me for things that are actually their fault.
Can I go back to the last question and change my answer to hard disagree?
Hard disagree, okay?
Yeah.
People often blame me for things that are actually their fault.
Soft disagree.
People refuse to break rules out of principles are foolish. They'll never get ahead.
Soft agree.
Seeing someone cry has little effect on me other than maybe irritating me.
Hard disagree. I'm a weeper. If you're crying in front of me, I'm going to be crying.
It's fun to antagonize people just to see how upset they get.
Hard disagree. Well, soft disagree. Soft disagree. Sometimes it is, if they deserve it.
You like to see sometimes people weep in front of you? That's right. Okay. It's a safe space. I get uncomfortable at the thought of committing a crime.
I get horny at the thought of committing a crime? There's no way that's a question.
No, I didn't say that. You just heard what you wanted to hear. You 100% heard what your own consciousness said to you. It's like, oh yeah, Jay watched
the So Freud was right. All right.
Wherever I want. Oh yeah.
What was the question?
I get uncomfortable.
How did I fucking... How did that happen? How did that happen? Alright. So, does it make me uncomfortable if what happens now?
At the thought of committing a crime.
Soft disagree. I don't get uncomfortable merely at the thought of committing a crime. Depends on the type of crime.
Right. I usually know just what to say to make other people do what I want.
Soft disagree. Sometimes I do.
I'll do whatever it takes to feel a thrill.
Hard disagree. Fuck that. I ain't in life for the thrills. I'm in life for the simple pleasures, bitch.
It is important to honor financial obligations.
Soft agree, but only because we live in a capitalist system where financial obligations mean a difference between life or death or whether you're able to get food and shit. So yeah, soft agree.
Right. Everyone else seems emotional and whiny compared to me.
Hard disagree. I'm way more emotional and whiny than they are.
Helping other people instead of focusing on myself is usually a waste of time.
Hard disagree. That which you put out into the world usually tends to come back around to help you. Or hurt you if you've been a dickhead.
I don't understand people who are anxious or fearful all the time because nothing really scares me.
Hard disagree. I am anxious and fearful sometimes.
Some people just aren't meant to succeed in life, and that's not my problem.
Once again, hard disagree. I don't think anyone's meant to be or do anything.
I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Hard agree.
Right, last question. If a rule or law would get in the way of my goals, I feel justified in breaking them.
Neutral. It depends. Like, what are my goals? What does breaking the law entail? To what degree does it get in the way? It's a more nuanced question than I feel like I can answer with a simple statement, so I just have to put neutral, I guess.
Right. And again, this is also what I expected.
Oh no.
Nothing like...
What is it?
Low.
You're sending it to me. Okay. Alright. Oh! I scored pretty low. Okay. The scores suggest that you are low in psychopathy. You report very few signs of psychopathy, suggesting you are empathetic and care about the feelings of others. You may occasionally act in an expedient manner, but in general you recognize that your needs don't trump other people's, and you take time to consider the consequences of making decisions. Well, that's how I like to think about myself, so I'm glad to see that's reflected generally. 21 out of 100. Few antisocial tendencies. Nice. I'm pretty pleased with that result.
I don't think anyone exists that has no antisocial tendencies.
I agree.
Alright. Did you take the test along with us, Ellie?
Yes.
What'd you get?
I got a 35.
Okay.
That's a reasonable result.
Antisocial tendencies.
Nice.
Yeah, you're still low. Yeah.
Yeah, you're still very low. We're within like 15 points of each other, so yay! That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Go
I assume I would be low
empaths.
too, but I can take it real quick.
Yeah, you go ahead and take it.
There's a weird fact under mine.
What is it?
It said, I really struggle with this word. Psychopathy?
Psychopathy.
Psychopathy.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Psychopathy is more common in men than it is women, and some gender differences exist. For example, female psychopaths tend to be less violent. Female psychopaths, however, can be just as callous and manipulative as their male counterparts. I thought that was a weird fact underneath it.
Yeah.
Alright, I always found it easy to convince people to do favors should be neutral. When I know someone's struggling, I think of them often soft agree. Other people make so many stupid mistakes compared to me, neutral. I don't see a problem with lying if it helps me get what I want. I don't like this about myself, but sort of, but not to the soft degree. I would say more neutral because it depends what I want. If someone told me that I hurt their feelings, I would feel badly. Agree, soft agree. Well, no, hard agree because I do feel bad. And truthfully, I find most people boring or stupid. Soft disagree. People often blame me for things that are actually their fault. Nobody's ever blamed me for hard disagree, I guess. People who refuse to break rules out of principles are foolish, they'll never get ahead. Neutral. No, soft disagree. I don't necessarily agree with that. Seeing someone cry has little effect on me other than maybe irritate me. Hard disagree. Sure. It's fun to antagonize people and just to see upset. Hard disagree. I hate that shit.
Hell yeah.
I get uncomfortable at the thought of committing a crime. Maybe I might get horny.
Did you say Billy?
I said horny.
No, Phoebe. I thought she said.
She said horny.
Oh, really?
Shit.
That time, Jesus.
That was funny. That's.
I am mush mouth a little bit.
You're gonna get me going again.
Ooh, jaywalking, Phoebe, jaywalking. Ooh.
Getting randy. Ooh, all this jaywalking and rioting we're doing, giving me a hard on. Yeah.
Bring your pet into the restaurant. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you don't want to know how many times I've loitered.
Ooh, defacing a bus stop. Defacing a bus stop.
Oh.
Anarchist symbol.
Oh, that's why her cough isn't annoying to me. It's concerning.
That's what I thought. She should get that checked out, right?
Yes, yeah, and I'm annoyed by everyone's cough. That's why I hadn't noticed, because I'm
Especially since obviously, cancer's in your family, baby. You should probably get that checked out.
I plead the fifth.
Okay.
No.
What happened to you, Phoebe?
I guess you're
Your
right.
lungs are not pleading the fifth, sweet girl.
I guess you're right. I just but the ritual of it.
Get a stick. I don't know.
You're right.
All right.
Anyway, go on.
At the thought of committing a crime. Disagree. I mean, neutral. Because I don't feel uncomfortable. I mean, I try not to break big credits because I don't want to go to prison. But
if I'm gonna cross the street without waiting for the red light, I'm gonna do it.
Right. As long as I don't get run over. I usually know just what to say to make other people do what I want. Neutral. I'll do whatever it takes to feel a thrill. No, that's crazy. It is important to honor financial obligations. Hard to agree. Everyone else seems emotional and whiny compared to me. Hard to disagree. Helping other people instead of focusing on myself is usually a way to disagree. I don't understand people who are anxious or fearful all the time because nothing really. Hard to disagree. Some people just aren't meant to see life, and that's not my problem. Soft disagree. I swear I wear my heart on my sleeve. Soft agree. If a rule or law would get in the way of my goal, I would justify breaking it. Depends on the goal and depends on what rules I'm breaking. So neutral. All right. I am 23 out of 100.
Oh, so right around my score. And yeah, so we're all empaths over here. Yeah, me, you, and Elle, all three of us. We're, yeah. So we won't eat each other if we ever go on an expedition out west. Is what I'm saying.
No, I'm not convinced about that.
I mean, if you're already dead and I'm gonna die too, I'll probably take a bite.
I would let this man hold my drink at a bar. I would not go hiking with him in the woods and winter.
Hey, that's only if you're dead. I'm not gonna kill you.
He does talk about cannibalism an awful lot, doesn't he?
I have standards, okay? You gotta be dead first.
Yeah, well, I'm clumsy. One fucked up slip, and next thing I know, I'm dinner.
Yeah, exactly. That's
It happens, man.
But
It could have easily been me, and I hope you would take a bite.
Duty to rescue.
I mean, do we blame all those airplane people?
Dude,
for
I can't wait.
their friend?
No, but here's the thing. I can't wait till the day that we, like, read, California man, Matt, found in the mountains about a mile away from the trailhead with a dead hiker, the leg of which was being roasted over an open fire. He claimed that he was starving in the wilderness and had no opportunity to eat anything else. However, rangers were able to locate a number of granola bars, some instant ramen, and other provisions within his knapsack. He was also located less than a mile away from the trailhead. I just imagine you constructing this, like, elaborate scenario so that when you, like, get happened upon, halfway through your human dinner, you've got, like, a set of excuses where you're like, I had to! Like, basically no other choice. Like, what was I gonna do?
He's like, fuck, this is good.
And the ranger is like, but dude, you're only like a mile from the trailhead, though. And you're like, what, a mile which way, though? I never could figure that out.
Yeah, if I leave this behind, how will I ever get back to it?
Investigators say he was, quote, living comfortably in the cave.
He's like, we don't know where he got it, but he had cable and a lazy boy.
He was watching a streamer named Phoebe, actually.
He was watching Jerry Springer.
Oh, shit. Oh, I love my community. You guys make me giggle.
Sorry.
Man. I'm one of those people, I guess, if like two people, that thing that those people got arrested for, that they both agreed to give each other a little piece of their own meat to try it. And I guess I would try that, I would try it.
Listen, okay, here's what I've thought about, okay? Here's the extent to which I would experiment with cannibalism. If I got, a weight loss surgery or something that involved just literally, taking a bunch of...
something that fat real quick?
Well, if I got, a bunch of pork belly taken off of my big fucking gargantuan moon-sized gut, then, I'd have a big old slab of bacon there to cure. And,
Hey, now, be nice to my friend.
Bacon?
Oh, I mean it with love. I don't really have any body image issues. I just like to engage in fat people humor because I feel like it's kind of a dying art form. But I don't really look down on myself for being fat. Just so it's clear, because I don't want people to misinterpret it. I don't care. Other people think that it's a big crushing blow to my self-esteem whenever they make fun of me for my weight. But I'm just joke's on you. I've got more ding-dongs than you do.
I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize. Big
What is,
girls get dudes and women and anybody they want.
What's trichotillomania?
Huh?
What's trichotillomania?
It's that weird phobia characterized by the fear of small holes in close proximity, I think. No, wait, triptylomania? Triptylomania is hair pulling disorder. I think.
Oh,
maybe?
Yeah, that is exactly what it is, yeah.
I think I'm thinking of tryptophobia.
You are, yeah.
They've got...
There's actually a test for trichotillomania. What's the test? It's one question. Do you pull the shit out of your hair all the time? I don't know how they made a 20-question test out of that.
I don't want to do that one. I've got an idea for a novel kind of quiz, but it's not going to be on Psychology Today.
What is it?
See if you can find hear me out, a Puritan morality quiz. Let's see
Like
how
a
far.
morality quiz?
Yes, a Puritan morality quiz. Let's see if we
Do I
need.
answer this as child me or as adult me?
I just want to
I'm
see.
gonna win, guys.
I just need to see if I'm going to be bound in chains and brought forthwith to the magistrates gathered at the court in the shire in which you dwell. That's all I want to know.
Fair.
So I'm
Man, I
gonna.
thought this was going a completely different direction. I thought you were gonna ask about a BDSM test.
Oh my god, that would be hilarious. We can do that one afterwards. But right now, my research attack dog Matt is looking for a Puritan morality quiz, I think.
I found a flashcard thing.
Oh no, that's not gonna work. Let me see if I can find one. Let me look. Let me see.
This might be a useful way to use AI.
Yeah, I'm gonna. That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
I think I found one. How Puritan are you?
Oh, okay. This one might work.
I don't know how do I deduce this? That's weird. 'Cause it's like a written test.
Okay, I'm asking Gemini to find me a test that matches my things.
I think I can understand this. So it's on a point system. Okay, maybe I could do this.
Hold on. If this thing works, it's actually generating me a pretty interesting thing, and I'm gonna be able to give it to us. It's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 6-question quiz. But let's see here. Let's see what it does. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see here. Oh, that's gonna be so cool. Alright. This is why I love Gemini, because it literally just made me a quiz, and I think it'll be functional. So, I'm gonna give it to you, Matt, since you've been administering all the quizzes all night.
Alright, let me turn you up a little bit then.
Okay.
Turn you up a little bit. Turn you up a little bit. Alright, go ahead.
Alright. Work and leisure balance is the first set of questions. How do you view restful Sundays? A, work or fun, whatever keeps me refreshed for the week. B, pure rest, no chores, no job duties, strictly family or reflection. And C, rest is fine, but idleness is dangerous. Every hour should serve a purpose.
Pure rest for sure. I want to just chill out.
Pure rest. Okay, I'll record a B. All right. Let's see. All right. Next question is: when working on a project, your baseline standard is A, doing enough to meet standards while maintaining balance. B, giving steady, honest effort without letting work consume my identity. Or C, total commitment, striving for absolute perfection in every task.
The second one.
B, okay, that's what I thought. The second set of questions is social accountability and governance. Number 1, how do you react when someone in your community strays from common values? A, live and let live, their personal ethics are their own business. B, discuss it privately with them if it impacts the collective good. Or C, call it out publicly to protect community standards.
The second one.
Alright, B. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I would like to explain that a little bit, because usually I'm living my live, but it's affecting everybody in a negative way. Not just like a Puritan way, but like, say you're doing something harmful, that like you're pissing in the drinking water or some shit like that.
Right.
Probably talk to him about it.
Right, exactly. That kind of thing needs to be talked about. Oh my god, I just had a moth land on me, dude.
I like moths.
Look at that shit. Big old moth.
That is a big old moth.
Off you go. Anyway, so that sounds good. What best describes your ideal community structure? A. A pluralistic democracy that guarantees personal autonomy. B. A tight-knit group bound by voluntary cooperation and mutual aid. Or C. A tightly governed society structured around shared, unyielding moral rules.
Jesus Christ.
I know, dude.
And like they want to wake people up. Holy shit.
It sounded like you were about to get hit by a train.
I know, right? I could do some really funny like visuals and stuff with that. Oh my god, Elle, have you heard me talk about this documentary I'm gonna be making when I go out to Seattle later this year?
I've heard you guys mention it, but I haven't had a moment to actually ask about what you're doing.
We'll talk about it later maybe, but I'm thinking about it because train. Anyway.
Alright,
Okay.
well, I can hear you now, so go ahead and ask me.
So, what best describes your ideal community structure? A. A pluralistic democracy that guarantees personal autonomy. B. A tight-knit group bound by voluntary cooperation and mutual aid. Or C. A tightly governed society structured around shared, unyielding moral rules. Hello?
It's between A and B.
Oh, okay.
I kind of believe a mixture of that, honestly.
So,
Because I think not one person or not one group should have all the power. Which is what the second one is, I assume.
well, that the second one does allow more opportunities for that kind of thing to arise, I would think, but not necessarily. I would think if I had to judge for myself, I would say that you fall into A, but not sure.
Yeah, because I would prefer the power to be spread, so not one group has all the control.
Right.
So I would say A, probably.
All right, let me register that answer. A. All right. So 3. This is the third grouping of questions. Destiny, purpose, and knowledge. Why do good or bad things happen to people? A. A mix of systemic factors, personal choices, and pure chance. B. Character and choices shape most outcomes, though life remains unpredictable. Or C. Everything is predetermined by a higher design beyond human control.
See, again, I feel like it's a mixture of 1 and 2.
A mix of systemic factors, personal choices, and pure chance, and character and choices shape most outcomes.
Because it's a little bit of 2, but mostly 1.
I think
So
it's
I guess we'll
mostly
go A.
1, but I
Yes.
can't control your answer.
Yeah, A, I guess.
Huh?
I said A, I guess. A.
Okie dokie. Sounds good. Alright, what else? Let's see here. What is your stance on reading or consuming media that challenges your worldview? A. Essential. Exposure to varied ideas builds critical thinking. B. Good in moderation, provided it doesn't undermine core ethics. Or C. Avoid it. Unfiltered outside influences lead to moral drift.
Yeah, A, clearly.
Alright, that's what I figured you were going to answer. Let me see here.
I feel like B is like, religious people and stuff.
Yeah, B and C are both.
Was that all the questions?
Yeah, so that was all the questions, and I just let it score you. So, the final verdict is you're about 35% compatible. You share the Puritan appreciation for disciplined living, steady labor, and care for the community's overall well-being, but you firmly diverge on how authority, governance, and personal freedom ought to operate. It put you as moderated communitarian with modern liberty. Your responses reflect a hybrid moral framework, ethical communitarianism. You value steady work, intentional rest, and thoughtful communal accountability. You share the Puritan belief that individual actions impact the broader group, and that work and rest require deliberate balance rather than self-indulgence. Modern pluralism. You reject Puritan social structure, predestination, and ideological insularity. You favor individual autonomy, open inquiry, and a realistic, non-fatalistic view of how the world works. So here's the places where you've got overlap. You've got a moderate level of overlap with work and rest ethic. Your approach is balanced, steady effort. The Puritan benchmark is sacred duty and constant productivity. So there's a moderate level of overlap. But then the rest is low, moderate to very low to none. Determinism versus agency, complex, systemic, random world is your approach versus the Puritan benchmark, which is divine predestination. There's no overlap there. We could go through the rest of the compatibility matrix, but that's about where I thought you'd land. L, would you like to take? Where am I at? I'm gonna have to give L the quiz because it's just on this little, it's just on my little Gemini thing here. Okay.
You there, L? Sorry, I was reading in another screen while listening. I'd learned some things because I was like, these things sound very familiar, and I learned the difference between Puritan and Mennonite.
Neat. That is actually really cool.
I also learned that the type of Mennonite that I grew up as is a transitional congregation between old order Mennonites and new order Mennonites.
So we gotta make something good for these young folks.
Neat.
Yeah, kinda. But yeah, I'm ready. I'm down to take it.
All right. Question 1. How do you view restful Sundays? A, work or fun, whatever keeps me refreshed for the week. B, pure rest, no chores, no job duties, strict family or reflection. Or C, rest is fine, but idleness is dangerous. Every hour should serve a purpose.
Before I answer, do you want what I grew up believing or what I believe now?
What you believe now.
A.
Yeah, okay. And I think for the purposes of reflection, there's some that I might ask you how you grew up being taught. So A for that one. I'm assuming you probably grew up with C being taught doctrinally, but I would love to hear actually your input on that one specifically. Like, how were you taught growing up in regards to that question?
Idle hands are the work of the devil.
That's what I figured, yeah.
Idle hands are the devil's plaything. Yep. Okay, that's kind of what I was figuring.
Yes, yeah. If you do not find yourself being useful for your family or your community, then you are not doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, that is wild, dude. People need breaks, man. That is fucking crazy. All right, let's see here. We got A for that one. And now question 2 is, when working on a project, your baseline standard is A, doing enough to meet standards while maintaining balance. B, giving steady, honest effort without letting work consume your whole identity. And C, total commitment, striving for absolute perfection in every task.
This is less of a C, but it's not because of my belief systems. I'm just a perfectionist.
That's valid.
I was kind of interested where this comes from because of your music, because I recognize if you're not giving your best in your musical group, then you have to pull your weight. I assume everybody has to pull their weight. We have to perform for other people.
Right, that makes sense. How do you react when someone in your community strays from common values? A, live and let live. Their personal ethics are their own business. B, discuss it privately with them if it impacts the collective good. Or C, call it out publicly to protect community standards.
C would have been the answer as a kid, but B.
Alrighty.
And it really is depending on the situation. Like, my immediate thought was, like, if someone I know was hurting someone else.
Yeah, that makes sense to me, yeah. And I think that it's... I think it's a perfectly morally just thing. Sorry, we talked over each other.
I said, but it's the community, not an individual. Of course, if it's an individual, you'll do what you gotta do to protect them. Yeah.
Oh, true.
Alrighty.
I still say B, I'm nosy.
Alrighty. So what best describes your ideal community structure? A, a pluralistic democracy that guarantees personal autonomy. B, a tight-knit group bound by voluntary cooperation and mutual aid. Or C, a tightly governed society structured around shared, unyielding moral rules.
And I had to look this up, but pluralistic just means like the power is spread. It's not one group that has all the power.
Okay. It's definitely a mix of A and B, I feel. But
That's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like B can be misinterpreted a way worse way.
Right. It can be interpreted in the, like, you know, eco-anarchist kind of utopian way, or it can be taken as the, like, white nationalist Waco kind of way.
Yeah.
You know, like, one might accurately describe David Koresh and his many cultists at Waco, you know, as a tight-knit group bound by voluntary cooperation and mutual aid. But that doesn't mean that what he was doing was, you know, morally righteous or whatever. So I think that's why it's kind of hard the way it puts it, because I feel like you want to add more nuance to it, but it's kind of hard to add more nuance to it. So I will accept any answer.
Yeah.
Which one did we land on?
A.
Okay.
I think we only answered like one question differently.
So far, I think so, yeah. Why do good or bad things happen to people? A, a mix of systemic factors, personal choices, and pure chance. B, character and choices. Oh, you already know this one?
Yeah, I answered this one to myself while listening.
Oh, righteous. Okay, cool. And the last question is, what is your stance on reading or consuming media that challenges your worldview? A, essential. B, good in moderation, provided it doesn't undermine core ethics. Or C, avoid it. Unfiltered outside influences lead to moral drift.
Let me hear B again.
B is good in moderation, provided it doesn't undermine core ethics.
Yes, B.
B? Oh, okay.
That's kind of interesting. I thought it would be A, because I answered A also. And I thought also that C would be your answer if you were still Mennonite.
Fuck, I wasn't thinking about if I was still a Mennonite. What was the question again?
The question was, what is your stance on reading or consuming media that challenges your worldview?
Yeah, C. Yeah.
Okay. And
He
since...
would be the Mennonite version of me. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Alrighty. And B is the one that applies to you now.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let me submit these.
So you would only... So you're basically like, I want to read news, but I don't want it to affect my personal beliefs system?
No, not that at all. I want to learn about other things that challenges my worldviews to expand my idea of the world, not challenge ethical beliefs that I already currently believe.
Well, what do you mean by ethical beliefs?
People shouldn't be R-worded, people shouldn't be murdered, children shouldn't be hurt, things like that.
Right.
Things that are base ethical things that everyone can agree on.
Right.
As long as those things aren't being broken, then yes, I can keep an open mind about just about anything.
And what was the wording on question? Because the way you frame it, I might change my answer. What was the wording on the first question, Phoebe?
The wording on the first question was, how do you view restful Sundays?
No. I mean on the last question, A on the last question.
Let me look. The question was, what is your stance on reading or consuming media that challenges your worldview? A is essential. Exposure to varied ideas builds critical thinking. B is good in moderation, provided it doesn't undermine core ethics. And C is avoided. Unfiltered outside influences lead to moral drift.
Yeah, I still have to say building critical thinking. Because just because it's critical thinking doesn't mean that somebody can convince me to hurt a kid. So,
True. I just
so
way too make a made me think that,
Yeah.
I just felt like A was the too wishy-washy opinion, B was the neutral, and C was the I'm stuck in my ways.
Yeah, and I feel that. So you tracked down to 42% compatible, high compatibility on internal drive, craftsmanship, and moral caution, but sharply divergent on how society should regulate personal time, freedom, and governance.
it's your turn, baby.
Yeah, now I've got to answer it. So that's pretty cool. And the profile it gave you is pragmatic perfectionist. This combination reveals a compelling split between personal and work standards and social governance. A sharp alignment with the Puritan work ethic, aiming for total perfection in labor while carefully guarding moral boundaries around media echoes. The Puritan drive toward meticulous self-examination and standard setting in one's personal calling. Flexible civil liberty. While personal standards run exceptionally high, there is little desire to enforce those standards on the wider public. Flexible leisure, pluralistic governance, private conflict resolution, and a non-fatalistic worldview keep this stance grounded in modern individual liberty. So I'd say that's pretty reasonable and pretty cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah, from the short time that I've known you, Ellie, that does sound like you.
Yeah, like scary accurate. Like I grew up Mennonite. My worldview has been expanded. That's a perfect way to describe it.
That's awesome.
Huh.
That is cool.
That Gemini thing sure is pretty good, huh?
I'm telling you, there's a reason why I use it. I don't rely on it as much as some people rely on their AI companions. I'm looking at you, Brett, but I definitely use it for weird little things like this because it can come up with something pretty accurate and useful in like seconds. But I'm gonna go ahead and take it. So let's see. How do you? We've already heard the questions a million times, so I'm just gonna go through and answer it. A. Fuck it. I don't care. Like whatever keeps me occupied. Let's see. Working on a project baseline standard is. I would say B. You know, I can be like I can be kind of like a lazy ass if I feel like my ability to add to it is kind of like subsided or something. I can see an instance where that would be a good answer. So let me see here. Next question. React when someone in your community strays from values. I would say B. Because, like, you know, if it's affecting everybody, you might want to, like, talk to them about it and see what's going on. Well, what best describes your ideal community structure? I'm going to go out on a limb and do B. Because I like to think that it will allow me the good grace of, you know, assuming that I'm taking the anarchist position, basically, based on my other answers. And given that it already has so much background information about me, I'll tell it that these are my answers specifically, so maybe that'll help. But yeah, tight-knit group bound by voluntary cooperation, mutual aid. I mean, that is ultimately what I would like to see humanity evolve into eventually, but along positive lines that are globally cooperative on top of being locally cooperative. So I'm going to go B. A, good things happen to bad people, or bad things happen to good people because of A, systemic factors, personal choices, and pure chance. And let's see, what's your stance on reading or consuming media to challenge your worldview? Essential. I would say essential, because I think that if it is like really stupid, you might benefit just from like refuting it. So let me see here. My answers are okay. Alrighty. Profile. Voluntary civic communitarian. Your results point to a strongly grounded, relationship-focused ethic that values community cohesion without resorting to rigid doctrine or heavy-handed control. Relational communitarianism, questions 3 and 4, all B's. You care deeply about social ties and mutual aid. Like early Puritan settlements in theory, you view the local community as an interconnected ecosystem where people look out for one another. Huh. However, you're... sorry, I'm just hearing something and I'm not sure what it is. However, you insist that cooperation must be voluntary and conflicts handled through private dialogue rather than public shaming. Then you got modern pragmatism. You keep personal balance, intellectual curiosity, and agency intact. You don't view leisure as sinful. You see the world as open and unpredictable rather than predestined, and you actively value engaging with challenging ideas. My final verdict is actually closer to L's than it is to Matt's. It's 40% compatible. You share the Puritan core value of strong, interdependent community and mutual accountability, but you strip away the coercion, theocratic control, and rigid dogmatism in favor of voluntary cooperation and open inquiry. And if that doesn't just butter my biscuit, I can't tell you what does. That buttered my biscuit right up.
I'm an odd one out once again.
Yeah. Well, you know what that means now, right, Matt?
The evil, dirty, disgusting man.
You should be...
patriarchal.
If I happen upon you... No, it means if I happen upon you on the road, I shall bind you in chains and bring you to the magistrates assembled in the court in the shire in which you dwell.
Just kill me.
L, do you get that reference?
No, I don't. Well, I do, but I don't. Like, I get it, but I don't know what it's from.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's an easy to get reference even if you don't know what it's from, which is why I use it. I got it from Atun Shea Films, who is a historical filmmaker here on YouTube. He's got this series called, like, The Witchfinder General, the Witchfinder General, which is, like, a faithfully recreated Puritan witchfinder from the Massachusetts Bay Colony that he plays for that series and answers, like, questions from Reddit or random comments and stuff like that. It's awesome. Or sometimes, like, he covered Mardi Gras. He covered Mardi Gras as the Witchfinder General, and he's got, like, a very faithfully recreated accent too. So it's really cool. You guys should check him out if y'all ever get an inkling to check out some other YouTubers. They do really cool historical work.
I want to take you this test. You ready for this?
Oh my god, another test.
Another one. Another one.
I guess.
Alright. This is the addiction test.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh no.
Yes. Yes.
Hold on. I gotta use the bathroom.
Go out of the bathroom. But you shall be tested.
I'm addicted to pissing.
Dude.
You reckon there actually are people addicted to pissing?
Have to be, right?
Wait. Somebody who just, like, sits there and drinks tons of water, goes to piss, drinks some more water, goes to, like, something like that? I mean, that sounds bad for your kidneys. Like, they piss clear and they just drink it, and they continue to do that over and over?
Bear Grylls, that's what it is.
Yeah, you know they say that drinking your own piss in a survival situation is actually worse because it's so much salt. It just makes you more dehydrated.
Why did they make that man drink so much piss on TV then?
Well, you gotta pay the bills, something.
Oh my god, the bills can't be that high.
I don't know. The History Channel is having some issues.
Oh no, dude. The second the History Channel stocks go down, Bear Grylls starts swallowing real hard.
All right, let's do this discriminatory ass quiz.
All right, Phoebe, here goes. In the past 6 months, I have used one or more drugs other than those required for medical reasons.
Yes.
Hard agree or soft agree?
Hard agree.
Okay. I have used more than one substance at a time.
Hard agree.
I have used a substance in larger amounts for longer than I intended.
Hard agree.
I sometimes wonder whether I am dependent on a drug or substance.
Soft agree. Sometimes.
I am always able to stop using drugs or substances when I want.
Neutral. I think it depends on what it is.
I've experienced one or more blackouts as a result of substance use.
Soft disagree, because I'm not sure if what I've experienced would actually qualify as blackouts per se.
I've experienced medical problems as a result of substance use.
Soft agree.
I sometimes feel bad about my substance use.
Hard agree. Yeah, sometimes.
I devote a good deal of time to getting and or using the drug.
Neutral.
I have never engaged in illicit activities to get drugs.
Hard disagree.
I have used a substance in a situation in which it is physically hazardous.
Soft agree.
It takes a good deal of time to recover from the effects of my substance use.
Soft disagree.
I experience cravings or a strong desire to use a substance.
Hard agree.
Family members and or friends have asked me whether I am involved with drugs.
Hard agree.
I have tried stopping the use of the substance one or more times but resumed use.
Hard agree, I guess.
I experienced unpleasant effects when I stopped using a substance.
Hard disagree. There's nothing I use and abuse bad enough to fucking cause that.
I have used the substance to relieve the unpleasant effects that I experienced when not taking.
Soft agree.
I have sometimes neglected work or school because of the use of the substance.
Hard disagree. Usually I'm taking substances to help me work.
I have sometimes neglected family obligations because of the use of a substance.
Soft disagree. I can't think of any instances, but it wouldn't surprise me if there was one or two either.
I find myself needing more of the substance to achieve the desired effect.
Hard disagree. Well, soft disagree.
Soft disagree?
Soft disagree. It depends on the substance. Cannabis is
right.
like that. Alcohol is not like that.
Ooh, okay.
For me, I mean.
I will send it to you to look at.
Alright, let's see how badly off I got here. I know it's gonna tell me I'm a fucking junkie.
Yeah.
This test is more depressing. I need a hit, dude. I know, right? Okay, let's see here. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, no. 65 out of 100. Substantial problems with substance use. So, 64 to 83 is substantial problems with substance use. I'm right at 65. So, that's fucking crazy. You have a substantial level of problems related to substance use. Research makes it clear that there is no way to predict who will develop compulsive substance use. It is more accurate to think of risk factors for its development. Among many other factors, they include early life trauma, lack of work skills, joblessness, as well as having a sensation-seeking personality. Yeah, I would say probably, like, I've maintained employment and shit like that. So I would say that for me, it's like the sensation-seeking personality thing. I'm not like a complete fucking sensation seeker. I'm not looking to, feel with every neuron at every hour of the day. But I really do like the wide and varied different ways that your brain can feel. And that, like, I don't know, some people think I'm crazy for this, but I like how different my vision looks on a strong strain of mushrooms or a really big hit of acid. I like some of the depersonalization that comes with that sometimes, and the knowledge in the back of my head that this is being manufactured by my brain just as a result of some complex chemical interactions. And I love kind of, I've always liked the phrase psychonaut, and I used to self-identify with it a lot more openly. But truth be told, that is kind of how I see myself in my relationship with substances. Is I see all of these different drugs that human beings manufacture and take and enjoy as different ways that we explore our own consciousness, and different ways that we, different lenses through which we can interact with and view the universe.
For sure. I don't even know if I can take this test, because unless food addiction is in there, I don't think I would score anything on that.
Yeah, I don't even think there's a point in you taking it, because you don't do anything.
No. No, if there was a food addiction test. What were you saying, Ellie?
Just hearing the questions, I know I'm getting a high score, dude.
Oh no! Oh, do you want to take it?
I can take it, yeah. But I just look, and it's sad because I don't want to say it, but the only drug I use is cannabis, and I'm going to fail. Or I'm going to pass this. I'm going to ace this test, dude.
Let's do it.
Like, cannabis and sometimes psilocybin, and that's it, dude.
Alright, I'll read it to you. In the past 6 months, I have used one or more drugs other than those required for medical use.
Yes. Strongly agree.
Strongly
Wait, other than the ones required for medical use?
Well, so weed can be used for medical reasons or not? Or do you use it for a medical reason?
Yes. But I also abuse it.
So then you would answer, like, yes, you have done.
Well, it says other than those required for medical reasons.
That's the confusing part. But even before it became a medicine, I was using it.
You want to go neutral?
Soft agree.
Soft agree. I use more than one substance at a time.
Soft agree. Is it like I use it like consistently, or I have?
You have, so like weed and alcohol?
Yes.
I have used the substance in larger amounts for longer than I intended.
Yes. Strongly agree.
I sometimes wonder whether that I'm dependent on a drug or a substance.
Strongly agree.
I'm always able to stop using drugs or substances when I want.
Soft disagree.
I've experienced one or more blackouts as a result of substance use.
Strongly disagree. Unless taking an unplanned weed nap is considered blacking out.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I've experienced medical problems as a result of substance use.
Strongly disagree.
I sometimes feel bad about my substance use.
Softly agree.
I devote a good deal of time to getting or using the drug. illicit activities or to get drugs?
Okay, so again, I've used since before it became medicinal, so
Are you working those corners?
No, but it was illegal to get before it was a medicine, you know?
Well, it says engage in illicit activities. Well, I guess buying like illegal drugs.
To get weed before 2012 be an illicit activity?
I guess so, yeah. I guess so.
I guess say soft degree then.
What's
It would be fair. Do neutral.
the definition of illicit? Now, a lot of my laws or rules, normal customs of society. I guess so, you know.
Me, on the other hand, I've totally sucked dick for weed.
Oh my god, I love you.
I love you too.
Stop bragging.
Just say soft degree. I ain't never done that, but damn, man. I feel like I've thought about it.
Right?
Damn, I suck a weed for some weed right now.
If we're being really honest, I've had some days where I've been like, if that's all I gotta do, maybe.
You're right. Especially if the person is chill, then it might even be cool.
If I would do it anyways, that's just not even... Then I didn't even do it for that. I just got a perk at the end. What do you mean?
Exactly, right, exactly. What's the next question?
Dirty birdies. Dirty birdies.
What's the next question?
I've never used a substance in a situation in which it is physically hazardous. You ever climb to the top of like a cell phone tower and smoke some weed?
No, I'm trying to think. What's the sketchiest places? No, this would strongly disagree.
Yeah, I don't know who would, like, were they, like, smoking weed in traffic or something? I don't know.
I don't know, dude. I have such a terrible fear of heights and being in weird public spaces while I'm smoking. I would never find myself in any weird situation that's not someone's bedroom or house.
My God, Elle, do I have a hell of a story for you when this quiz is done?
Okay.
We're halfway through.
Okay, Matt.
It takes a good deal. But keep it in your mind if you can.
I will. Trust me, I will.
It takes a good deal of time to recover from the effects of my substance use.
Strongly disagree.
I experience cravings or a strong desire to use a substance.
Strongly agree.
My family members and or friends have asked me whether I am involved with drugs.
Whether if I what?
If you were involved with drugs.
Strongly disagree.
I have tried stopping the use of a substance one or more times but resumed use.
So this is the computer. I have stopped for almost a year at a time twice. But I did continue use, so soft degree.
Okay. I experienced unpleasant effects when I stopped using a substance.
Strongly agree.
Damn, I could use some weed right now. Was that what it is?
No, it's actually insomnia. I have a severe problem sleeping if I stop smoking weed, and I also will develop an eating disorder. I will not eat.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was bulimic. I tried to quit.
Oh.
Involuntarily bulimic. It was, I would just get nauseous and puke and gag. Yeah.
Right. That makes sense. I've used a substance to relieve the unpleasant effects I experienced when not taking it.
Yes.
Soft or hard?
Strongly agree.
Okay. I have sometimes neglected work or school because of the use of a substance.
Strongly disagree. Even though I've been like this since I was 14, I have never smoked at work or school.
Okay. I have sometimes neglected family obligations because of the use of substance.
Strongly disagree.
All right, last question. I find myself needing more of a substance to achieve the desired effect.
Strongly agree. I gotta take tolerance breaks or I'm fucked.
Yep.
Right. And I will screenshot this for you.
Thank you. Oh, you can read it if you want to.
I'll still screenshot it for you.
I appreciate it.
All right. You scored a 53 out of 100. You have moderate problems with substance use.
Oh, that's not what I expected.
Yeah, that's like 10 points lower than mine.
What the fuck? I expected like a severe, like... Huh.
You must manage it better than you think. I mean, like, I've done crazy shit on, worse drugs than cannabis, so, that's why I'm not surprised I got a high score, but honestly, as you went down the quiz, I was like, maybe she'll end up with, like, a pretty, like, noble score, actually, out of this.
I think it's just that Mennonite moral code I was given as a child that parts of it stuck, where family's more important than certain things. You know what I mean? It's just that stupid, like...
Oh, yeah. No, I feel you 100% because I was raised in the Pentecostal church, and there are elements of Pentecostal liturgy and, like, parts of the Pentecostal worldview that have, like, remained with me despite all of the changes I've gone through and how vastly different my morality is in general. So I totally understand what you mean.
I didn't grow up religious at all. Didn't go to church, didn't do anything, even though my grandmother was a Jehovah's Witness. And I still believe, like, even now that the family is more important.
Nice.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because everybody should be important, but I do believe that I would, the family's more important. That's it.
Yeah. I think that might also be an American belief.
No, I don't think so. Like, don't the Chinese, like, put their families above everything else?
Oh. Well, I mean, not like it's exclusive to America, but like it's something that's probably been shoved down our throats subconsciously our entire lives.
Yeah, it is. It's a conservative moral value. It's generally seen just like uncritical alliance with family for just the reasons of family is a conservative social belief, but there are variations of it that are less conservative, and there's at least a few variations of it that I can think of that are actually like humanist in nature. So you can believe that family is the most important thing in that the bond between a parent and their child can, in theory, be one of the strongest bonds that there is, and families benefit a lot from the knowledge that they know about one another and the tolerance that they are able to grant one another and stuff like that. And such units can be such family units can be like a very conducive, positive, functioning, healthy family units can be in fact, they're like an incredibly necessary part of any kind of broader community organizing or improvement that you might want to do of the community as a whole. Because, sociology will tell you that that as far as like human relationships, it goes like a person, their family, which can include their spouse or whatever, their community, the broader community, which may be a state, a county, just depends, and then any polities that may be above that. And human beings really only actually engage much day to day with the first like 3 levels of that. So I think that it's perfectly rational and perfectly moral to value family higher than you value a lot of other things, as long as you are doing so with the rational understanding that any decisions that you make that are going to affect the rest of the world and your family, you're one part in a great big system, that the decisions you make might benefit your family in the long, or in the short run or whatever, but might hurt the planet and therefore everyone in the long term. I think there's like some nuance to have there, but I think in general it's a good ethic when believed in with the appropriate nuance, in my opinion. So, I had a crazy story that I was going to tell you, Elle.
I'm here for it.
So, you mentioned, like, having like a fear of heights and stuff, and how you don't like smoke in public and stuff, so you can't see yourself being in a super shady situation smoking weed. And that instantly reminded me of two different stories, and I'm gonna fucking try and tie them together somehow. So I used to live on the road. I used to live in a minivan, traveled all over the country, busking for a living, basically, with that thing back there. And I, before I got on the road, I had spent a little bit of time with my older sister down in a little town called Cape Girardeau, Missouri, like 2 hours south of St. Louis. And there's a beautiful set of there's a beautiful and long ridge of limestone bluffs that exists on the very western edge of Illinois, right on the other side of the river from Cape. Maybe like 45 minutes drive from where my older sister used to live. And one of my earliest memories of like actually smoking a joint proper, not just hitting her pen, but actually smoking a proper joint, was we went up to this spot called Inspiration Point, which is like 500 feet or something. Not, it's probably not that tall, but it's like 250 to 300 feet above the level of the ground. It's a little bit of a hike, but not that bad, because there's some switchbacks that you drive up to get up to the parking area. And there's this big boulder that is like an outcropping, a rock outcropping that everybody normally hangs out on top of, right? But if you look to the right of that boulder, there's a little precarious path with no railing whatsoever, and just a few trees to maybe, hopefully, let you grab onto something if you were to lose your balance. And there's an alcove under that big boulder where there's like a natural bench, and it's nice and cool, and it's shielded from the sun, and you can see everything better. And hardly anybody goes down there because everybody's fucking terrified, because, you know, one clumsy accident and you're fucking done for, or you're at least going to be very, very injured. And I managed to overcome my own fear of heights enough to get down there, scramble down there with my older sister, and look out over the plains of western Illinois towards the river and across to the city as we sat there and smoked a joint. And I could not get the persistent feeling of doom out of my head, because if I wasn't just looking forward, then I was like kind of like looking down, and the just sheer unguarded unsafety of what I was doing was prominent. But despite that, I managed to take a few other people to that spot, and pretty much everybody that I ever took there agreed that it was vibey. Scary as fuck, but very vibey. Very good vibes, very good place to like chill out and stuff, you know, bring a blunt down there, smoke it, and then slowly crawl up the path to get back onto the main rock and hope that nothing collapses while you're doing it. Beautiful. But eventually, the road took me, and I found myself one day in Trinidad, Colorado. Me and my road dog had a supply of acid, and we were camped out in a gas station parking lot, a truck stop on I-25, heading towards New Mexico, out of Colorado. And we were able to trade a little bit of the cannabis we'd been able to buy for some Grateful Dead family brewed acid, and we tripped balls that night. It was beautiful, and as I started to come down, it started to become time for us to start heading south to bond our friend out of jail. We've been saving up money, getting ready to do it, making it work, and we were gonna do it that day. Well, after a lot of very hilarious events that I won't go into right now because it's not relevant to the main subject of the story, eventually I was like, well, I don't want us to wait much longer because we might not get there before they, like, close. And I want to give us plenty of time. So I might just have to drive as I'm coming down off this shit. And Road Dogg was like, you think you'll be good to do that? And I just kind of, like, opened and closed my eyes a few times and looked around. I was like, yeah, I think so. So in I got to the driver's seat. In they got to the passenger seat. We made sure everything was secure. And I drove like 5.5 hours. Fucking head full of acid coming off of it. And I don't know that I drove any differently than I would have driven any other time. The only thing that I remember being weird about that drive is that the colors were a lot more vivid than they normally would have been. And I felt like I was more perceptive of, like, the other drivers around me and, like, the car's specific readouts and stuff, if that makes sense. I feel like I was maybe more, like, tuned into the drive as an experience. I certainly don't remember any distractions that played through my head at that point. I just remember, like, driving for a long time before the colors started to sort of normalize and conversations started to pick up again. So that is probably the shakiest or scariest or shadiest situation that I've ever been in regarding regarding active substance use.
Right.
That's both of them. That's crazy. That's wild.
I'm gonna have to refine
like
those
this,
stories.
I don't know if I should be, like, writing this down for your book or something, because that should be a part of the book.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about, Matt.
You said you wanted to write a book?
I mean, I've talked about it, but I don't know if I'll actually do it. Whatever. This is one of those stories that I remember it, and whatever I do, it will end up in that.
Your description of the first story reminded me that I actually did one time get over my fear of heights to smoke.
Where was it? Like, you gotta tell us about it.
Okay, so, I don't know what these things are called, but do you guys know those, like those factories that have, like, a fuck ton of, like, concrete structures that are supposed to be, like, for piping underground or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just, like, a fuck ton of, like, circular and square, giant, like, stacked up, like, I'm trying
Precast liners.
Huh?
They're called precast liners.
Oh, okay, so giant concrete structures. Some of them are square and look like boxes, and some of them are circular and look like tubes.
I sent you a message, Phoebe.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
I'm sorry. I forgot.
So it's this, like, giant, like, building that has, like, a whole yard full of these, like, structures, these concrete structures, and there was this guy that I liked, and I was still, like, 18 at the time, 19, and me and my friends were, like, walking late at night down my friend's road, like, near where he lives, and we were trying to find a smoking place, and my friend looks over and he sees the, like, concrete structures, and he's like, you think we could get in there and climb up on top of those? And of course we all tried to do that. We got in there and we started climbing up on them and playing around and just being goofy teenagers.
Right.
And when my friend climbed on top of this structure that was stacked on top of another structure, it had to have been like 20, 25 feet in the air.
Yeah.
At the top of it, like being on top of it, you were like 20, 25 feet in the air. Which doesn't sound like a crazy distance, but for someone with like a legitimate like fear of heights, you could die.
Yeah, that's pretty terrifying.
So, I remember that I was with my friends and this guy that I really liked, and I didn't want to embarrass myself in front of this guy that I really liked with my childish, at the time, I thought, fear of heights. So I was trying to act all cool, and like I was hanging with the crew, and that I could do it too. Everybody else climbed up there, and there's this so you climb up to the top of it, and then there's everybody had gotten up to on top of it, and they were waiting for me to get up there. And as they were waiting for me, which it took me a minute, I was scared, trying to pretend like I wasn't. The guy I liked jumped down a platform. Okay. Because
yeah.
He thought he found a better smoking section, or a smoking area, because he could hang his feet off the edge, and it was a better view. Now, this is 25 feet in the air, and you got to jump down about 5 feet, but there's a 3-foot gap in between you and the thing you're jumping at.
Spooky.
Yeah. It took me so long to get from the top of that platform to where he jumped that it was embarrassing. It took an embarrassing amount of time, and 3 friends helping me physically once I jumped down, because if I didn't have somebody holding on to me, I was gonna fucking panic. I was having a panic, a full-blown panic attack trying to get to this platform. And then when I finally get on it, and everybody's finally taking a sigh of fresh air because we could fucking smoke this blunt, I am sitting there disassociating. Like you said, looking up, looking down, that's about it.
Yep.
The whole time just emotionally beating myself up, because I definitely just made a huge fool of myself, procrastinating for so long trying to get onto that platform, and then while we're actually smoking, I'm just disassociated. Not there.
Right.
Then getting on the platform, the guy that I liked felt so bad for me that he helped me down himself.
Aww.
Yeah, dude, little tomboy in me was screaming for help.
Aww. That just tugs at my heartstrings. I feel that. I have I wouldn't say that how do I put it? I've got a way more profound sense of a fear of heights nowadays than I used to have. And I noticed this last time I drove through the mountains. But when I was a kid, the younger I can think back to, the less I remember having much of a meaningful fear of heights, to the point where I used to do all kinds of stupid shit on some of the playground equipment when I was real young. But at some point, that sense started to develop more strongly. And there's been a few times when I was traveling, and we would okay, the perfect example I can think of that's an allegory to what you were just talking about, and I can think of the exact same thing happening. I had a friend that, okay, so I mentioned my road dog a minute ago. Well, the person that we ended up bonding out of jail was a person named Ollie, and we all, before that ever happened, I'm pretty sure, we had went to some Bureau of Land Management holdings northwest of Bernalillo, New Mexico, where there was this big, long tract of land that part of it was mostly dedicated to an overnight parking spot and bike trails, and then the other half was dedicated to a shooting range. Seems odd to put them in such close proximity, but that's the way it was set up. And I remember us driving through on one of the days that the range part was closed, but you were still able to hike through there. I remember us driving down that road quite a ways until we eventually got to a part where there were these like massive, super tall, like mesas, basically. And they used to like climb for fun and like competitively and shit. So they scampered on up this like super tall hillside that we'd already had to drive up quite a bit of hill just to get to where we had like a little pull off to get to where it was. They clamber up this fucking hillside, and I'm like, okay, I finally catch up to where I can start clambering up the hillside myself, because they get all the way up to the top of one of the rocks, and they're like 100 feet up in the air or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll try, after having traversed, you know, a bunch of rocks and fucking boulder terrain and shit. So I get maybe, like you said, 25 feet up in the air, and the climb starts to become harder, and I start to like kind of realize, just looking around, how high up I am. And by the time I get to like 30 feet, I like take a break and I look behind me, and I'm just like, at first I'm taken in by the beauty, and it's really pretty, but then my weight shifted a little bit. And I was like, oh God, oh no, I'm gonna die. Oh my God. So I just immediately, I started fucking freaking out. I didn't know what to do, but my body desperately wanted to do something. So I ended up kind of like scooting on my ass down this rocky hillside to the point where I could get up and walk. And I by the time I got to that point, I was out of breath, huffing and puffing from how much I had screamed and worry-warded and shit. And you know what? I can relate 100% to, like, just not, like, whenever you have something that's that scary, you're just not there for a few minutes afterwards. Because, like, I remember getting back in the van and just sitting there staring forward at the vast expanse of scrubland. And
Yep. It's almost traumatic. Yeah.
Yeah. Awful
just a
shit.
little disassociation as a treat.
Yeah, just a little bit of dissociation as, you know, a treat.
Don't you just want to hug your inner self? It's gonna be okay.
I don't know if anybody else experiences this, but when I get close to an edge of anything that I feel like I might fall off of, I get this really overwhelming feeling of dizziness, and I also feel like I'm being crushed at the same time.
Nope.
Like a pressurized can that's been repressurized, or depressurized can.
I don't know if it's weird, but I don't really have a lot of phobias. I can't really think of any, honestly.
You can't think of one thing you're scared of?
Not really. I mean, ask me.
Needles.
No.
Heights.
No.
Fires.
No.
Small spaces.
No.
Mechanical objects under the water.
No. What?
Yeah, the Jaws ride from Disney gave me submechanophobia. I have 3 major fears, and they're needles, heights, and submechanophobia.
That's a first for me. I've never heard of that. But no.
Yeah.
Spiders, no. Bugs, no. Bats, no. Birds, no. Dogs, no. Really big people, no. Really small people, no.
There. What if you find something one day that you're scared of, and it's so silly, though?
Like a clown or some shit?
No, like I know someone who's legitimately terrified of caterpillars.
Interesting, no.
Fun fact.
Most creepy crawlies.
You guys want to know something embarrassing about me?
What?
I have learned to conquer it in my old age, but I am still to this day deathly afraid of mice.
Oh my god, I understand
Really?
it, dude. I understand it.
I used to have a pet.
People fuck on me for this, but dude, It's just, I think it's because, like, I went through this period of, like, bad depression and hormones and shit when I was, like, 14, and I let my room go really bad. I was, like, 13 or 14, and I just let my room go to the point where I ended up having, like, 3 mouse families living out of my bedroom. I know it makes me sound horribly disgusting, but,
No,
okay.
I grew up on a farm. Mice are everywhere.
Right, but...
It's just normal in farmhouses. Any house over 80 years old is going to have at least one family that's been living there longer than you.
True, but I just feel like they were, like, proliferating in my room because of how much trash and old dirty clothes and shit like that I let gather up. That certainly didn't help, you know, and food leftovers and all this shit. I was being pretty gross, but I have since become kind of a neat freak. I guess I've gone too far in the other direction, but I think it was that did it. Because what ultimately made me clean my room was my own disgust and embarrassment combined with, you know, an enheartened plea to my older sister, who was staying for the holidays. She saw my room and wanted to help, and I was like, yes, please, please, please help me clean it. I don't know what to do. I don't even know how to start. I don't know where to approach it from. I just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And so she helped me. She helped me clean that room top to bottom, and I never had any mice problems after that. But for like 4 months before that, I would be like sleeping in bed, and I would feel mice running across my body. I would be, yeah, dude. Like I would be like trying to go to sleep, and I would hear mice gnawing on packages or making nesting materials or just like squeaking to each other and shit. Like there was there were a number of times when I was just like kind of like hanging out and playing video games, and out of the corner of my eye or right in front of me there would be like a mouse walk across, like just own the place. And like they're so like they've got these like little beady eyes, and they're like, I don't know, dude. I can't explain it. I don't think it's a rational fear. I think it just stems from that like portion of my life, basically.
Yeah, it just sounds like trauma.
Yeah, and you know what? I hate to say it, but I don't want to blame my parents too hard for that, but like, why didn't my parents teach me how to clean my room? You know?
Yeah.
Well, was the rest of the house very clean, honestly?
No, it wasn't.
Well, there
They
you go.
didn't do it themselves, that's why they didn't teach you.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm kind of realizing about. What?
So I was apologizing.
Oh, you're fine. I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, like, you know, one of the things I'm realizing, like raising my own son, like my own kid, like I am a pretty like clean person these days, and I make sure that our house, you know, at least the purview that is under my purview, basically the part of it that's under my purview, I make sure that it stays reasonably clean. There's only so much I can do, because I've kind of come to terms with the fact that I hate to say this about my parents because I love them very dearly. They're both very good people, but they're not exactly the best organizationally, or like they're I don't know how to put it in a way that sounds nice.
Yeah, it's just the way some, you know,
But like
some families are.
the whole point I'm trying to get at
though.
though is that I'm like, one of my favorite things to do with my son is just like teaching him all these different little chores around the house. And at this point, I'm so proud of him, because if he sees a little piece of trash that's fallen to the floor or something, while he's walking from somewhere to somewhere else, he'll pick it up and he'll take it to the garbage. If I ask him to, you know, go throw away a paper plate that we've been sharing to eat some hot dogs on, he'll go right to the trash and throw it away right proper, and he's not even 2 yet. And you're right, and I just feel like, yeah, like, and he's already wanting to learn how to like sweep and mop and do all these other things. He'll help us with dishes and stuff, and so I feel like he's probably never going to go through a phase where he's just like completely letting all of his stuff go, but like it makes sense now that you guys point that out, because like I never, up until my older sister Rachel taught me how to clean my room, I never kept a clean room. And I never really thought about it until you guys mentioned that. But like the main reason I didn't keep a clean room was because my parents weren't really all that good at keeping a clean house. It just sounds, you know, fuck, man, I never thought about it like that.
Right. There are some things. This is something I had to learn as someone who was also neglected in different ways, but also autistic. I had to learn that, like, things like cleaning the house, or even, like, bathing, or just things like that are not something that are normally just, like, it's not something that's normally taught to your children. Like, your cleaning habits and the way you clean rubs off on your children more than you'll have to actually teach them. So, you're right, you're exactly right. Because of their habits, their habits rubbed off on you. If they had more healthy habits, you would have been more pervy to having healthy habits earlier.
Right. Yeah, that totally makes sense to me. And I think the fact that I've developed better habits that my kid is already starting to emulate, I think, says... I think it speaks to a pretty positive future of maybe breaking that cycle.
It's already showing signs that you've already broken the cycle. It's
Hopefully.
hard to register that you've broken a cycle, but you're showing signs that you've already done it.
One can only hope. I try not to give myself too much credit, but maybe that's a flaw. I don't know.
I do the same thing, but I've also broken some generational curses, and there are some things you actually need to pat yourself on the back for. My son is also under the age of, or just turned 2, and he accidentally turned him into a little Roomba because every time he sees me, I'm constantly picking things up because I have a toddler. So this poor baby thinks that just picking up stuff is normal, and I clap for him when he does it, so now it's become a reward system. So when he starts cleaning up his toys and puts them in a bin, I'll clap for him, and he's the happiest little baby in the whole world, and now he's a 2-year-old Roomba, and I got him to stop cleaning and just play for a bit.
Yeah, that is so cute. I love that. That is great. Yeah, man. I mean, man, my kid is getting to the point where he's getting to the age where he's going to start to be like that. I can already detect it. I remembered this thing the other day that my mom did for me when I was a little kid. It just popped into my head like fucking, I don't know, like a bunch of wild horses on the open prairie. And I remembered this song she would sing, although I only remember one line of it. Pick up, clean up, put your toys away. And like I got him accustomed to like bringing me different toys and putting them in different bags and sorting them out and stuff, and kind of understanding when we're done for the night. And I just think it's so cool to see, that I don't know. I feel like me and you probably have a similar parenting mindset where we're both like, let's try and like think of this actively, like as an active process that we have a modicum of control over, and like that, like we can choose what kind of influences we are in our kids' life and stuff. And it's so cool. Isn't it so cool to watch somebody actively grow up better than you were at that point? I don't know. For me, that's like, it's the best.
Very nice.
It's the goal, right? It's the goal. I feel like every parent should feel like that the ultimate joy should be watching them grow in a more healthy environment than you did.
Hell yeah. And one thing I have to say about my mom is that my mom was a wonderful mother, but somehow she's managed to be an even cooler grandma than she was a mom. And she was a pretty cool fucking mom already. So, Like I think, you know, it's great because, like, you know, I've got no shame in talking about it, even though some people act like anytime you do this, it's like automatically a sin. Um, but I make more than either of my parents at this point, so I don't know why that would be an issue in my case. But you know, I live with my parents, or my parents live with me, or however you want to phrase it. Um, and you know, out of 8 kids, I was the only one that wanted to come back onto the family farm and take things on to the next generation with new technology and a new mindset. You know, and as a result, my kid gets to enjoy this, what I have to imagine has to be a pretty idyllic and ideal living situation where no matter what, he's got somebody that's a trusted member of the family, whether it's my dad or my mom, you know, and both of them are great grandparents, that, you know, he's taken to them and they've taken to him, just like, you know, fleas on shit, basically. And I think it's awesome because, like, whenever I go to Seattle this year, they're probably going to be taking care of him for me for like a week or 5 days or so, and it's just kind of magical that the way things work out with my dad being retired and my mom's work schedule being what it is, the fact that we can make something like that work, and he's not going to have to deal with a change to his schedule much, really. He's not going to have to
Or
deal...
losing a trusted parent.
Exactly. I mean, like...
Yeah, grandparents, you know? Not the same, but very similar.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I do hate that I'm going to have to be away from him that long. I'm not going to lie. But, it's also one of those things where I'm like, I'm just thinking back to like earlier this year when there was an ice storm, for example. I had I had taken him back because me and my ex don't, you know, we don't live together anymore. Obviously, we're broken up and stuff, and so we're co-parenting, but they live like an hour away. So I took him over to her house, and then I don't know, like 4 or 5 days later, there was a major ice storm, and that kept us isolated at the house and unable to like safely have him back until like a week from then. So we ended up spending like 2 weeks with just one of us, and I don't, I'm sure that a child psychologist probably could point something out, but I don't know that it affected him as badly as I was expecting it to. Like, I thought that he would be, like, really, like, separation anxious and stuff, but I also wonder, like, as long as the fundamentals of the routine remain the same, I wonder how much kids perceive time. Like, exactly how many days does a schedule have to be off by for them to notice that? Like, obviously, I think, like, a 5-year-old kid is probably going to notice that a lot quicker than, like, a baby would, right? And, like, I would think that, like, a 2-year-old would probably notice faster than a 1-year-old. But I don't really know that for sure. Now I'm just sitting here wondering about it.
Brain develops memory at different rates until you're 3 years old, but will not have an app, unless there's a traumatic event that changes it, will not have a set memory that will last more than a few months until they're about 3.
Huh.
So, like, set memories, like, you won't, like, think back as far as you can. You won't have a memory before you're 3 unless you were traumatized in some way.
Well, you know what's kind of crazy is that my earliest memory, the thing that I can, like, puzzle back and remember happening earliest in my life, is 9/11, which happened exactly, like, 14 days or some shit after my 3rd birthday. So that tracks.
I remember my earliest memory. I was in a red brick house. I was crawling out of my crib and running to the living room. That's all I remember.
Are you sure that this is a memory and isn't something that someone described to you when you were younger and you visualized it?
No, I've had it my whole life.
That's
Are you
cool.
sure?
That's rare.
Well, it's only like a tiny little segment. I don't remember like anything else. Just that little memory.
You know what's weird for me? I have that, but I have that for years where I don't... What's weird is I remember the traumas that I went through as a childhood with crystal clarity. And oftentimes I even remember a lot of the events surrounding them. But there are
But you
big...
don't remember the good times in between?
Huh?
But you don't remember the good times in between?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, there's... Yeah, and it's fucked, right? Because, like, I feel like I have snatches of memories of the good times, but I try to put them together and piece them together and make them make sense and correlate with the timeline, and I can't. Sometimes I end up thinking, maybe this is not an actual memory, this is a fabricated memory that I've generated from stories that have been told to me. And it's just very strange when I think about it, because even before I remember being, you know, sexually assaulted as a child for the first time, I have big chunks out of my memory that are just inexplicably missing, where there's only like a snatch, I have the most distant memory of when I was like 6 or 7 years old, having some argument with one of my cousins and climbing up in a tree. And I remember that they were living in one of these like suburban kind of cookie cutter type of neighborhoods, but that's all I remember about it. And like a vague kind of sense of what it was like to exist in that moment. Like a kind of a perception of the climate, the feel of and it's weird that specific memory, it's strange to me that it's so short, number one, and number two, so detailed and visceral. And I've got probably 100 little snatches like that I could think of if I sat here and tried to write them all out. What the fuck is up with that?
It's called dormant memories.
Yeah, I am unfollowed.
Memories that are temporarily inaccessible or unaccessed simply due to the lack of time, use, or fading cues, rather than a psychological defense mechanism. So that the childhood trauma, which I've also experienced, I'm very sorry to hear that. I was also sexually abused as a child. I'm very sorry to hear that.
Hey, it's alright. I mean, it's not alright, but you know.
Those memories are severely traumatic, and even if we don't want to, our brain will think back to them during certain triggers. Therefore, that memory stays alive, more vivid, more clear. The reason you remember the traumatic memories and everything that surround it way clearer than you remember all the good things or the snatches of the good memories is because those good memories are laying dormant. You're not accessing those memories as often as you were accessing the negative ones. And that's not your fault. You are not deciding to do that. Your brain is.
Yeah, it's like an autonomous function. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Well, if you think about it like a RAM card, your brain has a set amount of storage that it can use, and when it processes and gains new memories and new information, it will go through and delete old files from your system that you have not accessed in a long time, and that is when those memories that are memories become dormant memories or repressed dormant memories.
And really, it's almost like they're archiving them, because every so often it's like that pick up, clean up, toys away song. That I haven't thought of that song in 20 years. I haven't thought of that song in 20 fucking years probably, and it just hit me walking through like the living room with my kids' toys strewn on the floor. Just like I have no idea what it was about it. I guess it was just the fact that, that it was the first time in 20 years that I'd had to walk through a floor strewn with toys. Maybe. But it's weird, right? It's like it archives it. It's like to use the motherboard and computer analogy even further. It's like you've got this pretty expansive RAM chipset that can withstand, a couple of years worth of quick access memories, and the clarity becomes ever closer. For the most part, the closer in the timeline to present that the memory is located. But when things, I think you're right, when things become too cluttered because of a preponderance of experiences or because of time, they get like archived, and it's like it goes from that RAM module into like a very, almost like into like an analog computer storage medium kind of thing, even worse than a hard drive.
Yeah.
It's like it goes into like a floppy disk bank.
Yes, exactly. That's a good analogy.
Sweet. I love that.
Reminiscence also is what you're looking for. That's the vibe that you're trying to describe, that you're missing. You reminisced on your childhood in that moment, whether you actively were cognitively aware of it or not. While you were walking through that room with toys with your son and you looked down and you were like, clean up, your brain reminisced how it felt to be a toddler for a second, or a child for a second.
Aww. That makes me sound cute and
That
adorable.
memory.
That makes me sound cute and adorable, like I've got pinchable little cheeks.
You do and you are, or you are and you do.
Aww. Oh my god, I'm gonna ride that high for the rest of the day.
You should. Nice to see a mom gain good traits from another mom and pass them down to their son.
Yeah, no
Hey.
joke.
Let's go.
It's really, really nice to see.
For sure. And you know what? There are things that my mom could have done better, but I want to give her credit too for there being some things about my own motherhood strategies that I learned from her, and there being generational problems that had followed many of the women in her family that she managed to do away with. Like, she never beat me or my sister, which I know that's like, what a high bar. But, her mom beat her within an inch of her life weekly till she was like 15. Like,
Right.
She
broke that curve.
right, and she broke it cleanly. I don't have a single memory of my mom ever spanking me or my sister. She broke that cleanly, and she wouldn't let anyone else do that to us around her either. She held to that principle and knew that she didn't want to inflict that torture on her kids. But, I think that is commendable, considering that not only had she been beaten by her mom, but her mom had learned that tactic from her own mother, who had likely learned that tactic from her mom, and so on back into the ages, until you eventually get to an abusive father or a mom that went crazy, one of the two, and
Yeah.
I agree with you. It is honestly, I think it's cool to be part of that change myself, and I think it's so cool to know that kind of change is possible. That's why I laugh at people when they say that social evolution, and I'm not talking about social Darwinism, I'm talking about social evolution and the idea that human beings can get better over time at being better, more social creatures. When people say that's silly or that it can't happen, I look at all the people I know who are either worse off because their parents continued the same generational curses that they were laden with, or because their parents laid them with new ones, or people who have managed to break out of that shit. And in a lot of cases, it's because they've got this person, either a parent or somebody that eventually kind of helps them like learn the ropes and figure out the better way to do things and shit. Like, people are capable of so much improvement, and I don't think we give ourselves enough credit for that sometimes.
I think you're right. I think you're very, very extremely right. I think people tend to forget that the brain is a muscle, and that, like, as complex as we are as humans, we still have a little silly traits that we can actually use to kind of hack our brains. Like the fact that humans are creatures of habits.
Oh yeah,
It's
definitely.
a thing that a lot of people don't really in depth. It's changed my life. If you add a small, like, drinking water was something I struggled greatly with. And if you add, like, a small, like improvement to your life that you've been struggling with, just one at a time, one small improvement that you bring to yourself every single day, regardless of if you like it or not, your brain will get into the habit of it, and you can trick yourself into having better, healthier habits in that way.
I'm still listening, by the way. And yeah, no, I totally agree. And I've made this point before, perhaps a little less eloquently, that, like, if you, there are so many things, like, small things, not even major changes to life. You mentioned, like, water intake being a perfect example, and that's one I'll use. For a long time, I struggled with, like, maintaining good hydration because I was, low-key a little bit addicted to just kind of like drinking sweet tea all the time. And I felt like eventually I was starting to kind of like feel the ill effects of that more and more. And eventually I was like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to start keeping water around, and I'll fill my cup up with water sometimes, so that's all I got to drink. And eventually it'll kind of become a habit, and that doesn't mean I'll not drink anything sweet anymore, but
Wait a minute.
more water.
Because you're kind of cutting in and out a little bit, but let me see if I heard you correctly. You circumvented drinking so much alcohol by drinking water instead?
No, I'm sorry. I was looking at something. No, what I was saying is that when it comes to like drinking water, like water intake, I have always struggled with drinking water because I was just like addicted to constant daily multiple glasses of sweet tea and like iced coffees and shit.
Okay.
So I eventually I was able to convince myself, like, whatever, if I just keep water around, like this big old jug, and I put it in my glass too, then at some point I'll be forced to drink the water or whatever. Even if I've got like an iced coffee that I'm starting out with and I've got the jug of water after that's killed, then I'll do that. And now at this point, because I've accustomed myself once again, which it's funny, when I was like a kid / teenager, I used to drink a lot more water than I did a few years back, when I was in my early 20s. And at this point now, I drink a fuck ton of water, which is one of the reasons why I need to go pee real quick. But yeah, small improvements can cascade into larger improvements.
Yes. I thought you had said alcohol because that is a legitimate, tested and tried and true method to starting getting over the cravings of alcoholism.
Really?
Yeah, people, like, in order to feel control in a moment where they feel powerless because they want to go drink alcohol as fast as possible, a good way to circumvent it is to chug water.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't drink or smoke or anything.
Oh, not at all. You're straight edge, like your whole life?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I've been surrounded by weed my whole life. My parents smoke We used to grow it. I just, I never felt the need to do it, so I never did.
Do you think you will when you're older?
I'm 34.
Yeah, no. Like when you're like 60, do you think you will?
Am I in crippling pain?
No, I'd say maybe you just have like mild back pain, maybe cataracts in your left eye, and a hip replacement by the
Oh, maybe. Possibly.
Maybe. Also CBD too. You don't even have to get high. You can just use CBD oils.
I did get
shit. Okay.
technically high one time. I accidentally ate edibles that I didn't know were edibles, and I just ate a shit ton of them. Had a full-blown panic attack and passed out and forgot everything that happened.
Yeah. That sounds exactly like it happened. Like it sounds exactly like yeah, that makes sense. I'm sorry you experienced the holy shit. I'm sorry you were dosed.
Oh, no, I wasn't dosed. Like somebody gave it to me maliciously. I just didn't realize that it was because my parents would bring home like snacks from friends and weed stuffs from the weed store and stuff like that. And
Imagine
one day they brought home a tray of chocolate pretzel brownie things, and they didn't tell me that it was special brownies. And I just ate like 4 squares.
no way.
Bro, I've been smoking since I was 14 years old. And I would have a panic attack, fall asleep, and forget everything that happened if I did that.
I felt cold, like inside, and I was convinced I was dying. I felt so cold. And I was hyperventilating.
That's horrible.
And I just went to my bed and went to sleep and just forgot everything.
That's awful. I'm so sorry, Matt. Your parents should have been more responsible.
Well, I was in my 20s. How much?
Oh my god!
That is fucking wild.
Like I said, I don't smoke, so I didn't know what was happening.
Dude, the first time I ever took edibles, okay, so I just moved into, you guys know Taylor from the chat. Well, me and her used to live together, and one of her best friends at the time, a girl named Tegan, was like, she was kind of like the flower master on this project, I think. Ended up, like, making...
What's a flower master?
Huh?
What's a flower master?
I don't know. I don't fucking know. Why are you trying to expect me to explain terms in the middle of a story?
Because you said it. You said flower master. I don't know what a flower master is.
Okay, weed is called flower in a lot of places.
Oh, okay. So they're the master of the weeds. I got it.
Yeah. Okay, let me explain this in a different way. Never mind. I'm gonna try and use less stoner jargon.
No,
okay.
No. I understand now. Go ahead. Explain how you're gonna do it.
Oh my god. Oh. Okay, I'll try my best. All right. Okay, I'm trying. I promise. I can talk. The group of friends that was responsible for making the brownies ended up making a wonderful tray of brownies, and they each had a piece, relatively small pieces. I noticed when I went in to get my own piece, but I saw no reason why that should moderate my piece. So I got, a piece about the size of the chunk that was missing. And because I'd never had edibles before, but I was like, whatever, go big or go home, right? So I got, I don't know, probably about maybe 3/5 of the amount of brownie that it sounds like you got. No idea how the dosing would compare. But
They're about an inch apiece.
Oh, then yeah, I got about as much as you did then, I would say. And after I got done eating that pretty prestigious piece of brownie, already by the time I got done eating it, because it kind of took me like half an hour to get through all of that, because I don't have the biggest sweet tooth in the world. It kind of takes me a minute to chew through some nice fudgy, doughy brownie. And by the time I got done with that and finished drinking my milk, I was already like, oh, interesting. So I had some interesting conversations. I, scrolled Facebook for a minute, listened to some Paul Zigo, jerked off, threw up in a bucket. I don't know what I did, but at some point, I eventually ended up, the thing I remember most about this was at some point before the girls and the couple of guys they went out with came home, I went into my bedroom and I got my guitar and I started like messing around with it, and I ended up playing guitar for like 4 hours straight. I got to listen to the entirety of a blowjob with finish in the other room happening, like sitting there playing my guitar, because I was so entranced that I like registered what I was hearing and everything. But it like I was like, my brain like split into two tracks, where I was like on the one hand playing this song that I was like writing as I went along, and on the other hand I was processing the fact that I was listening to what were obviously like sex noises in the adjacent room. And so I was like, in that side of my brain, I was like processing, well, why should I stop? Clearly I'm not bothering them if they're doing whatever. It's not like I'm in a relationship with anyone in this house. I wasn't at that point anyway. And so I was like reasoning all of this out in that chamber of my head and everything. Eventually the noises stopped and I was able to reunify my bicameral mind, and eventually, like, I guess people just kind of got impressed by how long I had sat in my room in my office chairs, like staring at the wall and playing the guitar. And so like somebody came in there and they were like, yo, what you doing? And like eventually they like rescued me and brought me into the rest of the party. And I don't remember the rest of the night. I'm assuming that maybe it was fun, but I do remember telling someone that I was not confident that they existed in that moment. They were like,
time I was like biting my lip and tongue and just trying to just keep myself muted, because the whole time you were telling that story, and the whole time I just kept hearing in my own fucking head, weird metronome, but okay.
yeah, it was a very.
Keep it a 4/4 beat, we're good.
I'm not gonna lie, there was a portion at one point when I kind of did realize, you know, and I was like, wait a minute, this is. So I like introduced some more.
That's a loud blowjob.
I introduced some more beats.
Subconsciously,
I don't know.
Beat and just kept at that same speed.
I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me.
Are you sure you weren't like serenading them?
Maybe I was. Maybe.
She was just really liking it, so she was just going with the beat at a certain point.
Yeah, I mean, fuck it. I'm a slut. Maybe that was the plan all along. I don't know.
Phoebe.
What?
Yeah, I wish mine was that cool, but mine was just, oh God, I'm dying. Let's pass out.
Yours makes me want to hug you, bro. I'm sorry you went through that. My first time experiencing apples, I was goofy. There was nothing terrible that happened. I was just goofy, and I didn't have any munchies. And I made my own batch. So here I am, high as hell, hungry as hell, with a batch of brownies in my house. So I was 2 brownies deep and decided to just keep munching on brownies. At a certain point, I was so fucking high, I forgot that what I was munching on was continuing to make me high, not helping.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I fell asleep after eating half a pan of brownies that night.
Oh my god. That is... I bet you had some great sleep that night, though.
Oh, I think I slept for 2 days.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm
I
jealous.
just kept eating.
Some people, they just...
It didn't take me 30 minutes to get through them. I inhaled the first 2 and then was like, damn, 10 minutes later, that shit looks so good. And I kept eating, and I just kept going back to the pan of brownies like, damn, that looks good.
I guess there's 3 types of people who get high. Those who just giggle through it, those who get paranoid, and those who think they're dying.
Yep, you are right.
Yeah. And the paranoid people, sometimes the paranoid people are just like, whatever, man, that's kind of the risk you take when you smoke up sometimes. But, like, if you're one of the people that feels like you're dying or you're, like, get genuinely terrified when you're on weed, then yeah, it's a pretty overwhelmingly negative experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
the first
maybe...
time I experienced a negative experience being too high, I thought people could read my thoughts. And I have really random and intrusive, rude thoughts that I keep to myself. So I'm sitting here thinking everybody can just hear what I'm thinking.
I've had that
no.
same experience, dude. When I was a baby stoner, the first time I was ever, like, so, you know, after that time with the Cliff, there was, like, 2 or 3 years where I didn't really smoke much. Or at least a year and a half where I didn't really smoke much. At all. Like, I didn't smoke at all, basically. Then I kind of gradually started getting into it more and was smoking on and off during the time of the brownie incident. But then, about 6 months after the brownie incident, my friend, ex-friend, Colin, comes down to visit, and he brings with him the best weed that I had smoked up to that point. And I remember, like, that first joint we smoked of it set off one of the most beautiful and glorious nights. But that was one of the thoughts that I had to conquer in my journey as a baby stoner, was like a couple of days after that first night, we got sent on a quest from Taylor. And I'm going to have to tell her this story one of these days. We got sent on a quest from Taylor. We needed to go to the grocery store, then we needed to go to the McDonald's, and then we needed to go to the hospital where she worked. And me and Colin had just smoked a fat fucking joint when she called. And neither of us was accustomed to driving high. So we just kind of like looked at each other. We gave each other the office glance. We just gave each other like the office glance. And we were like, I guess we'll try and make this work somehow. So basically what ended up happening was we got into the car. Colin decided he would drive because he, I guess, didn't trust me driving high and his car at the same time. So he drove, and I was the one who got sent into like the stores and stuff. And I will never forget walking around trying to find the goods that I needed. And I had that exact same thought, L, running through my head the whole time. It felt like everyone who looked at me, I felt like everyone who looked at me could tell, like, this bitch is fucking high as shit. And, like, I thought that they could hear my, and I get intrusive thoughts too. And sometimes it's stupid shit. Like, sometimes it's like, throw this can of beans as far as you can.
Yes. Or that guy looks kind of like a guy you don't like. Throw the can of beans at him.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no.
And then when you think that, the guy turns around at just a random happenstance timing. But he looked at me right after I thought about throwing beans at him.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like sitting here thinking, oh my god, this motherfucker knows that I want to throw a can of beans at him, but I don't actually want to throw a can of beans at you, sir. And you finally you feel like you want to apologize, but you know you shouldn't, because part of you knows that it would be illogical to do so, because there's no way they can actually read your thoughts. But there's a part of you that thinks that you can.
And that's exactly exactly what my brain sounded like. Phoebe just now is exactly what my brain sounded like in my head right before I walked up to that man and said, I would never throw beans at you, sir, and ran away.
Yes.
But
That's why I don't like being high in public.
the great bean eating.
See, eventually I got used to it. Like when I was living on the road, dude, you can only imagine. The beaning, dude. The beaning is insane. The beaning is insane. The beaning is crazy.
The bean wars.
The bean wars, dude. Shut the fuck up.
There were
Okay.
many who fought that day.
Listen, when I was living on the road, I had to get very used to just being high in public because, like, there's kind of no other choice. When I was, like, living in the van, I was like, whatever. And, dude, so, like, when we were standing on, like, a street corner or something, me and my road dog would smoke spliffs. But I got to the point where I would just, like, roll me up some weed in, like, a cigarette casing, you know, and then pack it the rest of the way with tobacco. Like, basically, like, do it, you know, tobacco, cannabis, tobacco, and then fucking fool everybody, you know, have something that looks like a cigarette, smells like a cigarette for most of it, and even if it does start to smell like weed at some point, it quickly goes back to smelling like cigarette. So I found all of these weird, hacky ways to be able to continue, you know, staying medicated and enjoying being high while I was on the road. Although it was less necessary to engage in that level of secrecy in some places. Like on the West Coast and like in most of the Western U.S., I didn't really feel that, like I didn't feel the need to do that, you know, like I didn't hide shit nearly as much or try to be as sneaky about shit because I was like, well, whatever, because like it's legal out here and they especially seem to not give a shit when it's like a literal homeless person that's just smoking weed. So it's wacky, I'll tell you that much. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to get off here in a minute though.
Aw.
I know.
Well, we have to go for 6 hours.
Yeah, I don't know if we've actually been going that long, but it feels like it.
5 hours and 30 minutes.
Oh, damn.
And you've probably been going for 30 after. About 6 hours.
Damn, that's crazy. I am a river unto my people.
A lovely yap session, to say the least, though.
For sure. I want to say I was glad to see you hanging out, not just in the voice chat, but also just in general. Again, Al, because, you know, I don't know. I like you. You're cool.
I will be hanging around in chat a lot more often because I rarely can chit chat like this that often. But I can type all day.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. I just wanted to say, like, you know, kudos to you for being, like, a cool person that's awesome to chill with and everything.
You too.
Hey.
Obviously, you too. You have a community that can do that with you.
Yeah, no, for sure. I must have something making it work, I guess, but it takes cool people like you and Matt and other people that have helped, so I just appreciate that kind of stuff, and I want to point that out when I can, you know? So to everybody who's watched tonight, thank you guys for hanging out. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Peace out until later.
Make sure you stock up on beans.